time to meet the people on the Keeler Show today.
It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen?
Keeler's always in the know.
It makes me want to call him
And tell him where to go.
And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, what a... first of all, am I correct in saying that I won both games last night in Monday Night Football?
No, you are not.
Oh.
You picked the Seahawks.
I did pick the Seahawks?
No, you didn't. You won both games.
I won both games. Thank you.
Son of a gun. I mean, how bad are the Dolphins?
Truly
Truly bad. I mean, because the Titans...
I just felt like the Dolphins are terrible.
That was a very...
What's wrong, Davey? What's wrong? You got all four.
No, I picked the frickin' Dolphins.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
so, okay.
Oh, boy.
The new total here. Let me total this up.
You
Say what
total it
wanna
up.
say.
So just so you know, we're doing a NFL Pick'em contest. And we're in with, let's see, Jake and Larry.
And Wayne.
And our man Wayne. And it's me, Davey, and Andrew as well. And on the line is a whopping $200.
So I'm not as far behind as others here. Hold on. Let's see. Davey had all but one. So Davey right now, so far as totals go, in the lead. No.
Yeah.
Davey, you picked the Dolphins. Oh, yeah, you picked the Dolphins.
He picked the Dolphins.
Yep, okay. So Wayne did Cowboys, so he got 3. Wayne's got 7.
Okay.
Jake picked, okay, so Jake only got 2. And Larry, Cowboys, Ravens,
I thought I was going to
Lions.
be way behind after
honestly,
losing the first 2 games this week.
So as it stands,
We're pretty tight.
I'm in dead last, which is freaking awesome because I had to pick the...
But not far. You're only 2 behind the leader.
Yeah, so Bill is now at 6, having picked the Giants and Bills unsuccessfully. You did get the Titans,
let me tell you
Lions. You
something.
added 2 to your 4, which
In
is
both
6.
of those games, they were both close.
Yep.
I could have won 4 this week.
I made up some ground by picking the Cowboys and the Lions, bringing my score from 3 to 5. Davey at 7. He's tied atop the leaderboard. He picked the Cowboys, Ravens, and Lions, bringing his 4 to a 7, unsuccessfully picking the Dolphins. Wayne had the Cowboys, the Bills, the Titans, the Lions, so he got 3 of 4, making him 4 to 7, tied atop the leaderboard. Jake had the Cowboys and Lions successfully picked. He was with me today, this week. Bills and Dolphins lost, so he went from a 4 to a 6. And Larry got the Cowboys, Ravens, Dolphins, Lions. Nobody got all 4 correct, bringing his score from a 4 to a 7.
Okay. Wow.
Let's make picks for next week. No.
Listen, but this is a tight race here. This is a tight race. Okay, that Mets game yesterday was unbelievable. Today the Mets play.
Oh my gosh, back and forth,
after
and forth.
4 o'clock game. What time does that first pitch go off today?
5:30.
5:30. So the pregame, I think it's underway at like 4:30.
The games are on ESPN, family of networks.
Okay, at least the Mets game, Mets-Milwaukee, will be on ESPN.
Yeah.
The Yankees play today?
No, the Yankees don't play until Saturday.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They get a buy-in.
They play the winner of the Orioles and Royals.
Which, to be honest with you, I'd like to play the Royals.
How'd you like to be the Braves to have to play all of your starters and really fight for your life in 2 games yesterday?
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for Brent Sneaker.
He pitched a really good game.
of the Braves.
Oh, I'm thinking about who was the Braves pitcher? What was his name?
Oh, the guy that baffles them. The first game.
In the first game,
It begins. I don't know how to pronounce.
I can't remember
his name.
his.
He only given up one hit, and it was a home run to Mark Vientos last week when they played him in Atlanta.
And I think he's a rookie, right?
Yeah.
He's a young pitcher. He just shut the Mets down. But the pitching change is always the thing that'll get you.
So, the Braves ace is Chris Sales, who's eventually going to be the NL Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah.
He was supposed to start game 2 against you guys in the Mets, but now he's supposed to start game 1. He's been scratched because of a back spasm.
Oh.
So the Braves manager is struggling to find out who's going to pitch the first the first game because
they had
he
to
used
use
all the
everybody.
bullpen.
He had to use everybody yesterday. Wow.
Tell us how you really feel, Davey.
Well, that shows you how difficult this decision was to not play on Monday and avoid the hurricane. And the Mets go down, and then Diaz, he gave it away, and then he almost gave it away in the end.
I couldn't believe it.
Almost gave it away in the end. All of this baseball talk in the midst of, I have a story, and I'm going to try to find the person, friend of mine who's responsible for this. Back when I was on K-Rock, there was a whole thing about Pete Rose, and someone was pranking us, and I don't know what the story was, but we were getting had by a friend of mine.
Okay.
And then it turned out where he ended up having to actually go out and he actually went to Cooperstown and got a real Pete Rose signed baseball. So there was some controversy. It might have involved a kid or something. I forgot what it was. But and then furthermore, we ended up getting Pete Rose on the air, and we had an awesome interview with Pete Rose back then. This would have been like 92 or 93. Back when you thought Pete Rose probably eventually would get into the Hall of Fame. And while Pete Rose is in the Hall of Fame, he is not a Hall of Famer.
Right.
And the ban continued through Rob Manfred.
And I think the biggest thing for Pete Rose, I don't know, some people say it was his almost his own doing that he was not cooperative with how baseball wanted him to be.
They may have been more sympathetic had he been more cooperative.
Yeah.
But he fought it right till the end, claiming he never did it. He never bet on his own team, when there were records to show that was not true.
Yeah, if he had been more forthright, he probably would have made it in.
He may have made it. He may have made it in.
Now, do they give him a posthumous induction? I don't know if they can still do that with eligibility.
Listen,
we're trying to reach Craig Muter to see if he'll be able to come on. But
they can do whatever they want to do, I would imagine, at the Hall of Fame.
And, he was just in Cooper. I mean, he went every year, but he was just in Cooperstown a couple months ago.
Yes, he was.
He made his money signing autographs and doing interviews and stuff. Did he always sign in green?
I was kicking myself today. I have never got his autograph.
Oh.
I actually got one, and I have his autograph. I got it through an auction on through a local person who does those types of things.
Yeah.
And it's actually Pete Rose's signature on the documentation of the complaint of his.
Oh, see, I mean, he went down. He was willing to do anything to make money.
Yeah, so it was like a copy of the report or the whatever that got him in trouble.
Well, listen, his autograph is worth very little.
Yeah, there's so many out there.
There are so many out there, but also he ended up being shamed in baseball. So, but you can't take away everything that he accomplished.
No, you can't.
I mean, he was just incredible. He died yesterday at the age of 83. There's no word on cause of death. He's still Major League Baseball's all-time hits leader, holds several other records. Here he is on September 11th, 1985, passing Ty Cobb to become the king, the baseball hit king. And again, this is 9/11/85. Here's audio.
Everybody on their feet here in Cincinnati and a worldwide television audience watching here at Riverfront Stadium. 2-1 pitch from Shaw into left center. There it is. Rose has eclipsed Cobb. That's number 4,192. Pete Rose. This certainly his crowning achievement. And for baseball, a game that grows from its past and finds warmth in statistics, this is one of the all-time great moments.
Well, there's no doubt it was. And you know what was also unique about Pete Rose is he was a player manager. He would manage and play in games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, you just don't see anything like that today.
No. And I don't think you ever would.
When you think about it, that wasn't that long ago. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. It's in the modern era back in the 80s. He would play and manage.
You can imagine taking yourself out.
He would play, he would manage, and he would bet on the games.
It's just,
I always bet that we would win. Oh, did you?
Yeah. Well, the advent of now the fact that there's so much sports betting and, Major League Sports has kind of just been overtaken by this. You would have thought that would have been enough to say, now I get it. Betting on a game that you're not involved with is different.
The rule is you, as a Major League Baseball player, cannot bet on baseball.
Yeah.
And that rule remains today as the cardinal sin if you were to violate that rule. So still today, while everybody else can bet on baseball, I imagine that baseball players can bet on football.
Oh, I'm sure.
I imagine they could bet on
or they can give
pickleball if they want.
They can give money to their translator, and then they can make bets for you.
And that is, think about that controversy. And here's probably the greatest player in baseball currently, and Major League Baseball didn't seem to want to dig too deep.
No, they did not.
On that. Anyway, but maybe he's completely innocent.
Could be.
But that rule still remains. There is no betting on baseball. So even the fact that they're, because betting has been around forever. And, but it's been legalized, obviously, in many states, including here, but not for players. Not for players.
Nope.
Mike says and it was that Black Sox scandal. He says it took place with gambling, brought baseball to its knees, and they have never forgotten it, even today. Mike also says, I thought the recent documentary on Pete Rose did a great job showing his highs and his lows. So Pete Rose has passed at the age of 83.
There's been a lot of unfortunate and untimely deaths in the last week and over the weekend as well.
There is a we were just thinking about, my wife and I talking about how many people we've lost in the last couple of years in our family and friends and is that Tanya? Yeah, family, friends, people close to the show for years and years, people close to us. When you look at that number, it's huge. I don't know if COVID just accelerated it, or maybe we're just getting to be that age. That's probably more so.
Could be
it. I don't know if you're keeping track, but we've been getting warnings from friends who are alive, very well alive, saying, get your toilet paper. Now, I don't want to create a crazy push, but get your toilet paper.
We have heard this, yes.
For some reason, that just went right down. Get your essentials. You remember what happened during COVID. Get everything that you're going to need because there's going to be a shortage in stores.
Yeah,
there is a major port strike on the East Coast that starts up here and goes all the way down into the Keys. And maybe into Texas as well, or down close. Anyway, it goes all the way down the East Coast. And it is expected on a daily basis to cost the country billions and slow everything down. Tanya J. Powers has more information on this. She's always in the know. By the way, her pantry... No, that's not Tanya? I asked you, is that Tanya? Oh, it's 6:47.
Yeah.
Who is this?
I don't know why I put that on there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wayne... you got me down for 6:40. Okay. Wayne
That's a lie.
Is the foremost expert when it comes to port closures, and he is a toilet paper specialist.
He is.
And sorry, I did such a great intro for her. Why didn't you stop me earlier? Yeah. Hello, Wayne. Good morning.
Hey, guys.
I'm
I am
clearly
not
lost.
Sexy Tanya.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't you think that Ohtani should be penalized for this betting thing he's saying that his assistant did? I know damn well he took part in it.
Well, do we though?
Yeah.
I mean, how much was
behind the curtain thing?
Well, maybe. But I think that we're still in a world where you need proof and evidence.
Yeah.
Beyond.
I mean, let's look at the
circumstantial.
circumstantial, right? Let's look at the circumstantial.
Well,
this translator happened to get a hold of millions of Ohtani's dollars to spend on his own bets. I mean, now when you're making that much money.
But I'm going to tell you something. I'm with Ohtani on this. I think he was ripped off. And the guy just so happened to be betting.
I just, again, when you're making that much money, you trust that you have I'm sure you have many money managers and accountants and things like that. But I mean,
so you're talking about
millions.
You're talking about athletes.
Yeah.
The athletes squander their money.
He was betting, and you know it.
And you should ask Ohtani how much eggs cost. He would have no idea. I mean, there's somebody else doing everything for him because he doesn't know, and there's a language barrier on top of it.
Yeah.
I don't mean to defend this guy, but
you are.
There is no evidence that shows that he was involved. So, Wayne, my answer to that is, I don't think so. I don't.
Well, with all the forgiveness
so.
with all the forgiveness in this world and what people are getting away with and all these law changes, Pete Rose should have been in the Hall of Fame regardless.
Yeah, I wanted him to be
with honors.
I wanted him to be in just because I knew it would be a huge moment for this area and Cooperstown. But I guess I don't know. And boy, man, they were all whoever was the commissioner of baseball. They were firm on this.
Yeah, they had inner hate for him. You could tell that doesn't go that far or that stiff and stern without inner hate.
Well, I think,
somebody in the family he didn't want him to sleep with.
Okay, maybe it's that. But beyond all of that, remember the situation here. He kept saying it wasn't true, and then he would give interviews that would put the blame on Major League Baseball. And
Bonds did the same thing, right?
Well, he's another one that's
Stick into it.
He's not going in the Hall of Fame.
Stick into it.
Davey.
Faye Vincent was the commissioner of baseball that put Pete Rose on the band.
Well, and but remember, we asked the current commissioner,
Rob
Manfred. I was from
We had
Rome.
him on, yeah.
We had him on the air, and we asked him each time we had him on. It was probably the question everybody asked him. What do you think about Pete Rose? And I forgot what his answer was. We should go back to find that. And I know we have it somewhere here.
Here's the thing, too, is a lot of people will say they'll come right, as Wayne kind of alluded to, and you were alluding to Barry Bonds in that situation. There's a difference between betting and cheating, right? So the steroids thing, if people are opposed to Barry Bonds not getting in or Roger Clemens getting in, I would say that they don't deserve to be in my opinion, right? But this is, he broke the rules, but there was no level of cheating.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away from his stats, is what I'm saying.
That's
what get you into the Hall of Fame, not the cheating and everything else. But his stats are what get you in. It isn't anything other than stats.
Right. Well, that really isn't true. It is. There's more to it than that, I think.
Although when it comes to guys like Jeter, I guess, and Babe Ruth. But,
right. Although there were some pretty bad people that made it into baseball.
I was going to say, you know them other guys.
Yeah.
The guys from back in the day did some crazy stuff.
So, but remember, he is in the Hall of Fame. He's in as the hit leader. Right. He's in for his other records. There's I believe there's a display there, a Pete Rose display. All of that still exists, but he's not in as a Hall of Fame member.
Right, Charlie Brown.
Interesting stuff. All right.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day. And hey,
Tanya.
Subway Series push.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, that'd be something.
I hope it's possible. It's absolutely possible. Thank you. The Mets have to get past Milwaukee, which will be no easy feat. But I'm going to tell you, so far this year, the Mets have played Philadelphia very well. So this all gets down to, will this be a Mets team that their bats finally come alive? Because they've not been in the last couple of weeks. Pete Alonso is struggling and it's all in his stinking head. Before it's like, listen, I don't care if I don't get home runs, I'm going to get doubles, I'll get singles, I will, and to an extent he has done that. But I think he was over 16 coming into yesterday's game, something like that. So there's the thought that he's going to be a free agent, and the Mets are going to let him go. So I can't imagine up to this point Pete Alonso being with anybody else but the Mets. But I don't know. He angers me right now. He can't freaking hit the ball. What the heck? What else in the news? We have a bunch to get to here today. Mike says Pete Rose's problem was Pete Rose. He was an unlikable character, and as a result, he did not get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, well, that would do it.
Donna asked the question, why would toilet paper be a problem? I just looked at the label on my toilet paper, and it says made in the U.S., distributed in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Well, maybe that brand of toilet paper that you're using, unrolling, is
I believe that
not going to be affected.
Everybody knows that Charmin is a Chinese word for soft.
Is that true?
Yes. Whenever I order, like I always say, whenever I order, I do not like the General Tso chicken crispy and crunchy. So I always say General Tso chicken Charmin. And they immediately know that means soft.
Or you get the boss at the restaurant that's yelling, this guy's Sherman.
Yeah, that's right. He's
soft.
Charmin. Edwin Diaz, Charmin.
Clay Holmes,
Sherman.
Definitely Sherman.
I don't believe any of that's true. So I don't know the answer to that, but we'll get Tanya on, I believe, sometime this morning. These guys are figuring it out. 6:47, right?
Yes.
She'll be on. We'll talk about that. What else in the news? Football last night was big. We don't have to get into it, but a couple of unlikely wins last night, especially if you're Andrew and Davey. A couple of unlikely wins.
Yeah.
Up on our website at WIBX950.com, I put the piece on where we discussed yesterday the three situations that happened to us over the weekend. One, the garage sale. Two, the shoplifting situation, and I do want to talk to Chuck Marshall. Actually, is on from Stewart's. There's a huge controversy in Clinton over Stewart's. What is it with Stewart's and controversy? I do not understand it. And then three, the naked man running through trying to get into our car and into our house, into our backyard. Stories up on our website along with audio from yesterday morning. You can check that out. Also, 10 of the scariest haunted homes, real haunted homes in upstate New York and throughout upstate New York. And there are 10 of them, and I believe 3 are here in the area. One in Cooperstown. Ooh, haunted home. 3 are in the area. One is in just outside Little Falls. One is in the Cooperstown area. And one, and now there are more. I get it. There are more, but this is the top 10.
Is this
and one in Sequoia too?
Now the one in the Little Falls area, that's not Beardsley Castle.
It is
not
Beardsley.
a home. Oh, okay.
It was a home.
It was a home. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're saying in a structure, haunted houses.
So the Beardsley. Listen, I knew a story when I used to this, and there's the story is. I'll say real because it is my take on the story. So there used to be, I was a wedding DJ, and I would always get hired by the Beardsley Castle to do any of their weddings. I was their go-to DJ.
Yeah.
So when somebody came, a bride came in, do you know of any DJs? They'd say, we have one here for you. We'll book them.
You were the in-house guy.
I was there like every week.
Preferred vendor.
Now, I would say I never saw anything haunted, but other people would say, oh yeah, I did. Mm-hmm. Anyway, one thing I can tell you is the second floor, when we would do weddings up there, it was very difficult because back then I was actually spinning vinyl, bringing all these records in. And Davey, you know what happens when you would play Shout or any of those songs, the people dancing would begin to jump up and down, and the needle on the turntable would just go up and down and skip, so I'd have to be like, gently jump. Anyway, so the guy that would set all this up,
ghost that did it?
And I do not remember his name. It was in the cold of the winter, And everybody would finish the wedding. I had left. Now they had to still clean up, everybody. And he was the last one there.
Like in the place.
The last one at Beardsley. And he went out the side door and somehow slipped on the ice and hit his head. They found him the next morning. Now, I believe he survived, but it was very bad.
What?
Yeah. So you know that everybody attributed that to the ghost. They didn't like him. The ghost didn't like him.
Yeah, they were blaming him for all the loud music.
It wasn't that's right. They're like, hey, you're allowing this music in this place.
I'm trying to sleep.
We've done everything, including bouncing the top floor to bounce that needle right off the records. And it didn't work. So now we're going to attack you. Now, logically, you would look at it and say he was walking out and he slipped on the ice and fell and hit his head. But no, you know how people are. It's like, no, I think it was the ghost.
It was the ghost.
I think it was the ghost. Okay, what else do I have? Mom asked her 4-year-old son to help her do the dishes, but I'm not going to play that stupid thing. Dad walks 30 miles through flood debris to walk daughter down the aisle. Oh, that's kind of a nice story, but who wants a nice story?
Well, there was a story of I think it was a Fox Weather guy in Atlanta.
I saw that story, yes.
Who went and ran into the water to save a woman in a car.
During a report. Yeah, during a report. National CD Day. So if you're looking for investments and you're... Oh, wait a minute.
You're looking to lose money?
I'm sorry. This is Compact Disc Day. A National Compact Disc Day is today.
For those who still have that technology.
Some people still do.
Maybe in their cars.
I don't in my car.
Oh.
National Hair Day. Davey. Me and you.
No offense.
And let me break before we... and it's one more. Today is also National Taco Day.
Taco.
So if you're thinking about having something for dinner, maybe Taco Tuesday.
It is
October
Taco
1st
Tuesday.
is National Taco Day.
Love it.
Dumb. Okay. By the way, Mike says he feels there's some sort of a tie-in. Cincinnati, Pete Rose, toilet paper.
Oh, it's a conspiracy.
Thinking about it. Got a break. Coming up, Tanya Powers will get into this this strike. We're told from the inside how long the strike is probably going to last. We'll tell you.
Hopefully not long.
We'll give you that information coming up. But Tanya, coming right up at WIBX.
October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. As the leader in identity theft protection, LifeLock reminds you to update your passwords. Using the same password across multiple accounts makes you vulnerable to cyber criminals. Updating your passwords is only one way to help protect yourself. For comprehensive identity theft protection, you need LifeLock. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes issues that arise. Start protecting your identity today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY.
You want to recycle, but you're not sure what's recyclable, what goes in your weekly recycling bin, or what goes in the trash. Wheelock Disposal Service, your recycling experts, wants to give you some helpful tips in determining what waste goes where. Let's talk metal, such as cans used for soup, vegetables, sauce, various pet food, and soda, along with metal lids, all can go in your weekly recycling bin. Plus, aluminum foil and empty aerosol cans, too. For more information, go to wheelockdisposal.com, your recycling experts.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE, Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, so we're hearing from somebody who works in the
know,
in the docks, at the docks, works at the docks, works on the docks. We are hearing this is probably going to last. This strike is probably going to last about 3 days. So we'll see if that's true. But for each day, it is contributing to inflation. It is contributing to this shortage, and we're talking about billions of dollars that are lost. Yeah. On the line right now is Tanya J. Powers from Fox News Radio. What do we know, Tanya? Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Well, here's kind of the nuts and bolts of what's going on. The strike started at midnight. That's when the contract deadline expiration was. It is between the ports, which is that they are the U.S. Maritime Alliance. They are the group representing the ports. So if you hear me talk about the alliance, that it's the ports. It's not a Star Wars thing. The ILA is the International Longshoremen's Association. That is the union that has about 45,000 members. The contract between them expired at midnight, and so they had already been negotiating. The union wants a pay raise, benefits. They also want a complete ban on automation. One of the interesting parts of this whole thing is the technology, kind of the sticking point of the automation that has kind of been in this. This is not just a we want better pay and benefits sort of thing. This is the automation part of that has to be figured out as well. The union opened up with a 77% pay raise request over 6 year contract. As of last night, the alliance, the ports folks had offered 50%, but they said, well, we're going to keep our limits on automation in place from the old contract. And that may be the thing that is a bridge too far for this. And that's obviously they didn't agree. The Longshoremen's Association did not agree with that, which is one of the reasons they, went ahead and went on strike at midnight. This affects ports from Maine to Texas. Some of the big ones, of course, appear not too far from where we are. You've got the 3/5 of the nation's container shipments go through ports on the East and Gulf Coast, just to give people an idea of, how big of an impact this is. The Port of New York and New Jersey, the third busiest in the country. You've also got ports that are fast growing in Virginia, Georgia, Texas. So, this affects a lot of folks. It's 36 ports. But this is the first time that the union has gone on strike since 1977. So it kind of gives you an idea of the scope of this.
So we're hearing maybe about 3 days, but I'm also hearing that for each day, I'm going to pull this quote here. Mike says, I was listening to one of the talking heads yesterday, and they say every day the port is closed, it takes 6 days to clean up the mess. If it goes on too long, it will definitely become a political issue. Could this be the October surprise?
Yeah, this could become a political issue, and this is, if you'll recall, there are tools that the president can use. There is a federal labor law that could force an end to the shutdown. The statement we got from the White House this morning basically says that President Biden and Vice President Harris have been closely monitoring what's going on. His team has actually been working with them, so the White House has been in contact with both sides. Matter of fact, he put his chief of staff and the National Economic Advisor on this yesterday. They met yesterday with the board members from the alliance. They urged them to get this resolved. They are, of course, trying to get this resolved through collective bargaining instead of having to step in and go, okay, we got to do something. That's still an option that can be done. As far as like supply chain issues and what this might mean for prices and things like that. Each department has also responded with a statement basically saying, here's the potential impacts on, our sectors. The Department of Energy says that the strike it will not impact crude oil, gasoline, natural gas, and other liquid fuel exports and imports. The strike won't have any immediate impact over fuel supplies or prices. The Department of Agriculture said that we should not expect significant changes to food prices or availability in the near term. The Department of Health and Human Services says currently preliminary assessments indicate immediate impacts across medicines, medical devices, and infant formula for consumers, parents, and caregivers should be limited. But they are all releasing statements of, okay, here's how this might affect what we oversee. So, that's what's going on.
So I had somebody mention toilet paper, and then another listener say, well, the toilet paper I get is made in Ohio. So, but here's part of the problem is the fear is that this is going to create a hoarding situation where people go out.
Oh, yeah, the panic purchasing.
The panic purchasing. And very much like what happens during a hurricane or a winter storm. And that's possible, where people just go out and stock up and the shelves become empty.
Yeah, I mean that's a consumer thing. That's not anything.
Yeah, that's not.
Right. That's an individual person sort of thing. And yeah, I mean that could happen. It could also happen, I guess, anytime you do have a natural disaster, like you said. Right. I mean that is something that we see. Apparently, everybody, milk and eggs, or that's their moment to shine.
Right.
So
that's right.
I don't. That's a good question. I'm sure that's something that people will be watching. But as far as like if you are seeing immediate price spikes on your food, and they're blaming it on this, according to what we're hearing from the White House, that's not a thing right now. So that's
so they're
why
taking advantage.
They're putting out these statements saying, "Hey, don't. If people are taking advantage of this, that's gouging."
Yeah. Okay. All right. Interesting stuff, Tanya. And hopefully our source is correct, and this lasts only about 3 days. That would be long, problematic, but nothing like weeks. 3 days would be hopeful. Okay.
Yeah, let's hope your source is on it. And honestly, if your source is that good, I would like their number.
I will be all about that. I will be all about that. All right. Tanya, we appreciate it. You have a wonderful day.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. Tanya J. Powers from Fox News Radio. Andrew, wherever you can fill it in and make it happen. Okay. Maybe 25 would be good. We have another local expert, Steve Spurbeck, who is certainly in the middle of all of this and can give us some feedback on what he expects
from his perspective.
I do think the worry is, and I know Tanya kind of downplayed it a little bit, but it is a direct result of this. People's fears can end up causing additional damage. Mm-hmm. And that is absolutely something that could happen here. Right?
That's correct.
I'm afraid it could. So beware, they say. Listen, forget the worry about a shortage of anything. You need a new bath. And New York Sash has the bath sale, 20% off right now. Get a dream bathroom for less. You could save this month 20%. A new look in just a few days. No mess and no worries. We had this done on our home before we moved, our home in the Valley. Fully customizable with colors, patterns, and accessories. They're in, they're out, and they're gone. And you, within 2 days, have a brand new bathroom. The mess is gone. It doesn't mold or mildew, easy to clean, quality, affordable, accessibility products, a fraction of the cost of tile. It's 20% off right now, your dream bathroom. Call New York Sash or visit them online at newyorksash.com. News is next.
28 years ago, Lori Potasowicz had a dream. With a natural love for pets, she wanted to become an expert groomer. So she set out to become the area's only nationally certified master groomer and launched her business, one paw at a time. With grooming expertise and a lot of loving care, Lori and her talented team began caring for pets one paw at a time. Cuts, shampoos, and styling, one paw at a time. Teeth and nails with no detail overlooked from head to toe, one paw at a time. Getting to know each each and every dog and cat by name, the One Paw at a Time family grew, and Lori had a decision to make. Keep expanding? She followed her heart and decided to keep the One Paw family atmosphere just the way it is, so she can keep taking care of the pets she knows and loves, one paw at a time. Lori and her team want to thank the families they serve for putting their trust in them to care for their four-legged family members, one paw at a time. 320 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro near Woods Road. One Paw appreciates your understanding for their current waiting list for new customers.
Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas is your authorized dealer for Artesian Spas. Made in America, made for you, and made to last. Artesian Spas are designed with your wellness in mind, and Tucker Backyard has many styles and designs displayed in their one-of-a-kind showroom. Come see for yourself and experience fully functional spas in their unique setting. Ben Tucker and his staff will be happy to assist with their interactive showroom, helping you pick out the right spa fitting both your needs and budget. Relax in your new spa this fall with Tucker Backyard and Artesian. While there, ask about the new line of fiberglass pools, built to last for years and never needing a liner. Beauty and complete durability more affordable than ever before. Add fun, comfort, wellness, and value to your home with Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas. Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas is your authorized dealer for Artesian Spas. 8086 Seneca Turnpike, 1 mile west of Big Apple Plaza. Online at tuckerbackyard.com.
We bring from the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome,
W295EI,
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Instead of working, they're picketing. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Those dock workers in Elizabeth, New Jersey are among about 50,000 who went on strike after midnight from Maine to Texas.
The offers that we had, it didn't work out. And I just told them, so long, goodbye. I'm going with my members.
International Longshoremen's Union President Harold Daggett. The ports being shut down are
responsible for about half of all U.S. imports and billions of dollars in trade a month. And products will not be able to be imported or exported during the strike. This includes chemicals, iron and steel, medical equipment, furniture, vehicles, machinery, and electric machinery.
That's Fox Business Network's Lauren Simonetti. Air sirens have gone off in Israel as Hezbollah fires more rockets and says it's ready for a direct confrontation with Israeli troops who've moved into Lebanon, warning residents across the border to evacuate.
These localized ground raids will target Hezbollah strongholds that threaten Israeli towns, kibbutzim, and communities along our border.
Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, after recent airstrikes, killed Hezbollah's leader and the other senior Iran-backed militants. It's up to at least 128 deaths blamed on Hurricane Helene, which did a lot of damage from Florida to the Carolinas. Storm victims still in need or in some cases rescue.
The fact of the matter is it's not happening fast enough, and aid groups are trying to get in. National Guard is trying, but there are people in dire straits as we speak right now. A lot of help is needed here.
That's Fox Weather's Robert Ray in Asheville, North Carolina. There's still more than 1 million power outages, hundreds of people unaccounted for. A former president is a birthday boy. Jimmy Carter turned 100 today. President Biden told him in a message,
"Put simply, Mr. President, I admire you so darn much."
Carter remains in hospice care at his home in Georgia. Our oldest ex-president ever. He's lived 43 years after leaving office. America's listening to Fox News.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at Progressive.
Senator J.D. Vance said when he debates, he hopes to highlight what he sees as the biggest differences between the two campaigns.
We speak to our fellow Americans like they're citizens, because they are. Kamala Harris speaks to her fellow Americans like they're children.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said last month in Erie County, Pennsylvania,
this country needs 2 functioning political parties at least. We don't need one and a cult on the other side. We do not need that.
While Vice President Harris has said she would debate again, depending on the moderators, former President Trump has said there's no need for another debate between them. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Fox News Radio has live coverage and a simulcast of the CBS News vice presidential debate starting at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed, up for the NASDAQ, but down for the Dow, after gains for September put the Dow at a record high. Baseball's hit king has died. Pete Rose, the all-time Major League hits leader, but as Fox's Joe Morgan reports, Rose's career ended in shame.
In 1989, Rose agreed to a lifetime ban after an investigation found that Rose placed bets on the Reds to win while playing for and managing the team from 1985 to 1987. He denied it at the time, but later admitted to the accusation. The ban made him ineligible for the Hall of Fame, and an application by Rose for reinstatement years later was never granted.
Pete Rose was 83. Baseball's playoffs start today after the Mets and Braves clinched.
Lindor sends this one high and deep to center.
Francisco Lindor powered New York on ESPN to a win over Atlanta, which then beat New York in the second game of a doubleheader to clinch the last wild card. There was also a football doubleheader last night. Tennessee beat Miami for the Titans' first win. Detroit topped Seattle, the Seahawks' first loss of the season. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:05. I'm Andrew Dominio. This update brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Abercrombie Falls. For all your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Go to johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more information. Right now, we're at 56 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. Little Falls Police confirmed one person has died in a fire that happened Sunday in the city. An investigation determined the individual took their own life after setting the fire. Damage from the fire was limited to the upstairs apartment. However, both apartments have extensive water damage. As a result, the fire displaced one person. That fire broke out just before 7 p.m. on Sunday. Herkimer residents have issues with the Mirror Lake Dam being decommissioned. A public hearing was held Monday at the Herkimer VFW regarding the decommissioning of the Mirror Lake Dam. Deemed unsafe by the state DEC, it was decided that it would be more cost-effective to remove the dam than to make repairs. The water level of Mirror Lake will be lowered, and the dam will be replaced by 2 watershed diversion berms as part of the project. Representatives from the DEC were on hand to answer questions and alleviate concerns from residents. Those questions range from flooding concerns to the area becoming a breeding ground for mosquitoes. A funeral service will be held today for the Oswego County Sheriff's deputy who died in the line of duty. The memorial for Deputy Callie Campbell will take place at noon inside the Fulton Alliance Church on State Route 48 in Fulton. Campbell was responding to a crash in Volney last week when her cruiser went through an intersection and was struck by another vehicle. The 33-year-old Campbell was rushed to a nearby hospital but could not be saved. Sheriff Don Hilton says what happened is simply a tragic accident. Syracuse Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens now has her eye on taking over the city's top office. Yesterday, Owens kicked off her campaign to replace current Mayor Ben Walsh, who cannot run for re-election in 2025 due to term limits. Owens has been a part of the Walsh administration for years and previously worked as CEO of Syracuse Community Connections, which helps provide family planning and reproductive health services. The only other candidate in the race so far is Jimmy Oliver. Beginning next week, Central will be launching rural bus service through Oneida County. The service is going to link Rome, Utica, and Turning Stone Resort Casino in Verona through 6 daily round trips that'll happen between 7:45 a.m. and 6 p.m. Key stops will not only include the casino, but also the Walmart Distribution Center, Marcy Correctional Facility, and MVCC Rome. Fares will be $3 for adults and $1.50 for seniors 65 and older and disabled individuals. And the Earth is getting a temporary new companion. Researchers call it a mini-moon, and it will be hanging around for nearly 2 months before heading back out on its journey into the solar system. It's really an asteroid, roughly the size of a city bus. It's a very dim object, pretty much ruling out the chances of spotting it with the naked eye. However, a visit to an observatory with public access should get you a view. It's 7:08. Your weather forecast is brought to you by the Stanley Center for the Arts. Your weather forecast for today, partly sunny with a high in the mid-70s. It'll be cloudy overnight with a low in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a chance of rain showers. We'll see a high in the mid-60s. Right now, we're at 56 degrees under cloudy skies. It is 7:09. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43, local contractors. Huge sports day yesterday. We'll start with one of the tragic stories of the afternoon. Baseball's hit king Pete Rose has died at the age of 83. He passed away Monday at his home in Las Vegas. Rose accumulated 4,256 hits over a career that spanned 24 seasons, but was banned from the sport after it was determined he bet on games. Not a member of the Hall of Fame as far as being a Hall of Famer, but that has continuously caused debate among baseball fans. We'll talk to a few people here this morning, including Sal Barbero, our umpire extraordinaire. He's got his thoughts on Pete Rose. He's coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. Pete Rose dead at the age of 83. Lions quarterback Jared Goff made NFL history in a win over the Seahawks Monday night. Goff set an NFL record by completing all 18 of his pass attempts for 292 yards and 2 touchdowns as Detroit downed Seattle 42-29 at Ford Field. Goff also had a 7-yard touchdown catch in the third quarter for his first career receiving score. The Lions have won back-to-back games and sit second in the NFC North at 3-1. Seattle's Geno Smith was 38 of 56 for 395 yards, 1 touchdown, and an interception in the losing effort. The Seahawks remain atop the NFC West at 3-1. Another game that happened last night, not many people probably cared about it. It wasn't that exciting. Titans-Dolphins, the Titans getting it done there. Hard to believe, but it happened, just to show how much the Dolphins are not doing well this season, especially without their quarterback. Big news in baseball. The Mets punched their ticket to the postseason early in Game 1 of 2. New York split Monday's doubleheader with the Braves after winning the first game 8-7, having to have 2 comebacks late in the game. They dropped the second game 3-0 at Truist Park. Francisco Lindor slugged a clutch 2-run homer in the top of the 9th, and Edwin Diaz was credited with the victory in Game 1 of the Twin Bill. The Mets finished the regular season as the third NL wild card after going 89-73, and will take on the Milwaukee Brewers in the best-of-3 wild card round beginning tonight at American Family Field. At one point, Bill, I believe it was July, the Mets were 11 games under 500. And now they're in the playoffs.
Well, if you go back to May, right up until Memorial Day, it was worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy that they're even in. And I got to tell you, if they can get past Milwaukee, anything can happen.
Anything could happen.
Anything can happen. We'll have to see.
Can I ask you a question?
Maybe.
Can I ask you a question?
Quickly,
LA is going to be tough. Yeah.
Okay. I will make it quick. Do you think Carlos Mendoza should be considered for NL Manager of the Year for the turnaround that he did with the Mets?
I do, although...
And then if you think Buck Showalter, if this team was under Buck Showalter, they could have made the playoffs.
I like Buck Showalter, but probably not. Mendoza's done a tremendous job, and I think that if... It depends on how far they go, right? If they kind of peter out here against Milwaukee, then no. But if they can get themselves in deep into the playoffs, I don't know. Could very well have a shot. Here's Richard. Bill, Pete Alonso stinks. The Mets don't need him. Wave goodbye. I'm beginning to wonder, I got to tell you. He has not had a great year, although he's had a really good year. But not a great home run hitting year.
What'll happen is you'll release him. Cashman will stupidly pick him up, and he'll do nothing, and you'll get Juan Soto.
What normally happens is we trade them, and then they become superstars. That's what happens. And that all began with a pitcher by the name of Nolan Ryan back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Coming up, we'll speak with Chuck Marshall. We have a lot to get to. Chuck Marshall with Stewart's. People are outraged over the possibility of a new Stewart's near Clinton schools. I'm not sure why, but we'll figure it out. Steve Spurbeck from ERL Intermodal. They are a shipping company, and What will this strike do? How will it impact the supply chain? Here's an expert to talk about it. Dr. Kent Hall. A lot of people sick right now, either the flu or COVID. We'll talk to Dr. Hall about that and what you can do to. And listen, there are some people that they get the flu or COVID and they have the potential of dying. It is true. However, for the most of us, it is just going to be a week-long mess for you to deal with, losing work and all of that. But beyond that, here's the other part of this. You get from this flu or COVID, it almost seems like the cold and the breathing and all the stuff that you're dealing with lasts for about a month afterwards. It is a definitely an interruption in your life. We'll talk to Dr. Hall about that coming up. And more on Pete Rose. And Hobica's free money question of the day. And, Davey, how much are we talking about this morning for Hobica's free money question of the day?
$200.
$200 on the line. And we'll throw the question in for the first day of October coming up at WIBX.
By now, you've probably heard of Upside, the free app that gets you real cash back at gas stations. But Upside is so much more than just a gas app. Upside lets you earn cash back at more than 85,000 grocery stores, gas stations, and restaurants, including popular national chains and local favorites. Just download the free app, claim an offer, and get real cash back on your purchase. There are no complicated points or rebates. With Upside, you can earn up to $10 cash back every time you go to the grocery store or dine out. That's up to $10 right back in your pocket on every meal out and every grocery run. The best part? You can earn on top of your credit or debit card rewards. Download Upside today. Use promo code SNACK10 and get a 10% cashback bonus on your first purchase. Get the Upside app and use promo code SNACK10 for an extra 10% cashback bonus. That's promo code SNACK10. Offers vary by user and location. Terms and conditions apply. Go to upside.com for details.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE, Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
Join members of Christ the King Shrine on Thursday, October 3rd from 2 to 4 at the Good News Center to meet guest speaker Jerome Donovan. Leave a message at 315-797-2546 to RSVP.
At Mattress Express, we deliver quickly. If you've waited too long for your mattress to be delivered elsewhere, simply bring your receipt in. We will deliver the same or a comparable mattress, and we will meet or beat the price and get it to you quickly. Come see us today.
Need new tires? Nokian Tires is celebrating 90 years of legendary Hakkapeliitta winter tires with a consumer rebate. Now through October 31st. When you buy 4 select winter, all-season, and all-weather tires, you can save up to $80 by mail on a MasterCard prepaid card. Offer expires October 31st, 2024. Experience the thrill of savings on every mile at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Visit their stores and meet their team of experts, or schedule your appointment online at tallmanstire.com.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined as always by my co-anchor Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down at T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2. At T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
24 monthly bill credits. Eligible trade-in on Go 5G Next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits, and credits stop and balance on required finance agreement too. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, let's talk about Stewart's if we can. Do you know that people in Clinton, now I don't know what your thing is, Clinton, but...
They love the one that's on, what is it, 12B or 12 that's going up from...
Yeah, there's one on Clinton Road.
Clinton Road, yeah.
Over near Middle Settlement.
Correct. That we're perpendicular.
And the old Red Lion Limberlost Road. Over there's one, but there is not one in Clinton. In fact, I was asked to pick up someone and take them to the Stewart's in Clinton where they could get some skull or something. I don't know. And then I found out I'm not allowed to do that. And there's a whole long story about it. But nonetheless, we went searching through Clinton. There was no Stewart's. And I said, I know where there's a Stewart's. We should have gone the other way and back over on Clinton Road, which we did. And that's where we landed. Nonetheless, I'm not sure what people have a problem over, but I guess we're going to find out. Once again, this is like deja vu, as you know who said, all over again. Chuck Marshall on the line now. Good morning, Chuck.
How are you guys?
It's like deja vu all over again.
Oh, every time.
Well, I think it's about 8 years ago that the world was going to end in East Utica, and today I woke up and still it seems we're rotating on our axis, and around the sun we go.
Do you have this sort of thing elsewhere or just in our area?
Primarily in your area. We faced a moratorium in the village of Marcellus this year that we overcame, and that store is under construction. But, primarily I have no radio personality except for the city of Utica. and its greater expanse.
Well, we are here for you. It all begins with a chocolate milkshake. I'm going to tell you right now.
So good. But here's the thing too. Here's one of their initial complaints, and again, I don't always like to bring in a competition because the gas station wars are a real thing, and it's extreme. People are saying we don't need a gas station in our village. Well, there's like one or two that I can think of in that immediate area.
There's only one. Yeah, there's only one. So that would be, and they were in attendance at the last. We went to an initial concept meeting in July. And an attendee was, representing. So it'll probably be, kind of the same story as we've seen before. But, in this instance, it's a permitted use, and we'll work through the process. I think we've proven time and time again we're willing to work with people to make sure that the impacts they perceive are mitigated or minimized. And I think in every instance we've been welcomed, and like you said, people go.
Yeah, the problem is with the Stewart shop is there's ice cream. It's an ice cream shop. There's food. There's kids, students, people are going to frequent the stores. It's just a fact of what happens.
That was one of the things. We don't need our kids going there and getting junk food.
Well, I'll tell you also that competition is good.
Yes, it is.
And I would think if there's only one there in that vicinity, then competition is usually very, very good. So what is the next step? How close are you on this to have this happen? How close is it, or can they stop it?
Well, there's the environmental review, which I guess, is probably the biggest hurdle for stopping it or not. The zoning does allow it. We applied for the October 15th meeting. We're waiting for confirmation that we'll be on that agenda. And we'll just go through the process. This is not something that we're expecting to build this year. We're expecting to construct in 2025. So we have time, and again, we'll work with the village to get through what their concerns are. We submitted a code analysis. We think we adhere to the code and all of its context. And again, it's a process. It's not.
Yeah.
I wish my job were as easy as saying we're going to put a Stewart's there, and I show up with an inflatable bouncy house, and there's a Stewart's there the next day. But these things don't go like that.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too: is what people need to understand, and this is kind of the issue that we talked to local attorney Nick Pasalacqua about with the hotel that's proposed in the village of New Hartford. If it meets the zoning, and somebody wants to purchase the property from somebody else and put something there, as long as they're following the codes and the zoning, they can do it. There's not much that can be done to stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the chairman of the planning board where I live, and kind of explain the same thing. And having my life live out on the public record the way it does, I have to practice what I preach, and that's a pretty accurate statement. I mean, that's not to say that there are things that can't make it better or minimize some of the concerns. So one of the things is that we're going to put in a pedestrian crossing signal so that, the kids coming across from the school can cross safely. It's already, I think it's a 20-mile-an-hour zone. And again, one of those things that people don't think about, and I don't have the record in front of me, but I think Shenango Ave already sees like 8,000 cars or 9,000 cars a day.
Right.
We don't want the traffic. It's going to be crazy.
I know, and but you know what? Listen, and when it comes to zoning and that sort of thing, and the planning boards making decisions, I recall a really big case down in Cooperstown when they wanted to move a Pizza Hut into the village of Cooperstown, and the biggest complaint was the fact that the roof was red. And that was the fight down there for a long time. And ultimately, the Pizza Hut, I think, landed outside the village, which now is a community of its own since they've added youth baseball in those dream parks over there. That's become like hotels and everything over there. It's crazy. That's outside the village. So, but again, I would think that competition is good for a community.
Yeah.
Like Clinton.
Well, I mean, obviously, I think competition is good, but I guess the other question is, what's the value of a vacant building?
Right. Or the problem with a vacant building, right? You can have a lot of problems with that, and it's its own eyesore. All right, so this is going to take some time, but you feel confident that this will move forward.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't been in front of a quorum of the village planning board, but again, the code analysis that we provided the village and the zoning, do seem to line up, and again, we'll work through the process.
Okay. Listen, this is an aside. Is it okay if I tell them the story that happened to me over the weekend?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
At one of the stores. By the way, I was at one of your stores twice this past couple of days. Once where I paid like $1.80 for gas or $2.80 for gas in Ilion.
Where you put there's $1.80 gas?
Well, $2.80. It was like $2.89. There's a gas war going on in Ilion, and the Stewart's is right in the middle of it. And I also didn't. So I said, okay, let's put 60 in, and the clerk at Stewart's said, well, listen, if you're not that thirsty, come back in and I'll give you change. And sure enough, I had forgotten what it's like to put gas in my vehicle at $2.89 a gallon, and at like 53, I was done. So I went in and I got my change. It was very nice. But I was in a store, and all of a sudden a van. Now I just want to know what the policy is. What did I do wrong, or should I have gotten in there and tackled somebody? So a van with like 15 people show up at a store, and they looked like they may have been, everybody was speaking another language. They may have been workers from maybe, I don't want to say Chobani, but possible. I don't know. Nonetheless, everybody's getting out. Everybody goes into the store at the same time. There must be like 25 people in the store on a Sunday morning. So all of a sudden, I'm standing and waiting for my turn in line, and I look to my left, and there's a woman putting Reese's peanut butter cup bags, and you had like Halloween candy out. All that stuff is going in her pockets. So what should I have done there? A, should I have tackled her? B, should I have reported it? Or C, should I just have minded my own business?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the sentiment, but for sure, I think that you approached the situation properly and minding your own business. Had you alerted someone in the store, it would have been appreciated. But customer interactions that escalate like that don't end up benefiting anybody. So
well, I
on behalf of the general public, I appreciate it. On behalf of Stewart Shops Corp., I think you did the right thing.
Well, I didn't because I reported it. So, but afterwards I thought about it because there was a confrontation afterwards, and I thought, you know what, I should have just kept my mouth shut because, what has she got in her pockets? $12 worth of stuff, maybe, and is that worth what could have escalated into something really bad? So right. I should have kept my mouth shut.
Sure should have.
Yep, thank you for that. So I'll have to go home today, you realize, and tell my wife she was right.
Oh, don't worry about it. I had no instance like that, and I'll have to go home and tell my wife the same thing.
Yeah, that's right. All right, fair enough. Chuck, we do appreciate it. It is it's a thing that, and you know what? These men and women who work at these stores work very, very hard, and be nice to them when you check out. Not everybody is, and that kind of stinks. Chuck Marshall, we appreciate it. Good luck in Clinton.
Have a good day, guys.
You do the same.
All right, Chuck. Thanks.
My wife was like, "You just should have not said anything," because I asked, "What's your policy on just let them do it?"
Yeah.
Because I was at Best Buy once and there was somebody shoplifting.
Well, those are a little more expensive than Reese's.
No, we can't do anything.
Well, I worked at Walmart once.
We just got to watch them. We call police. By the time police get here, they're gone.
Yeah.
And this was somebody they knew as a shoplifter. And the clerk was like, "See this guy that's coming in right now, he's the lookout. The shoplifter is going to be coming in behind him in a few minutes." And sure enough, he did. And so they try to get them out of the store before, but any confrontation the employees are told to avoid because it can get dangerous.
Yeah, I worked at Walmart, and that was one of the things part of the training. And then it happened where I observed it. A gentleman was in the action aisle, as they call it in the biz. It's the main aisle that you're going down in front of the door, and he had a large television in a cart, and I was outside on my break and with another coworker, and he ran down the aisle and progressively got faster, and out the door he went.
With a TV.
With a TV. The fastest. I wanted to hire the guy. It was the fastest load in of a TV into a truck, and out the parking lot he went. And then right after he was driving away, the loss prevention and store manager were running out of the door after him. But they tell you, what if you got stabbed or assaulted or injured trying to stop a shoplifter, the company would be liable for you.
I wish like Clint Eastwood was at every store.
What are you doing with that TV, punk?
That's right. You feel lucky, and he pulls out the gun, and then the guy's like, "Oh, take the TV, take the TV.
Take the TV, I'm sorry.
Take back the Reese's peanut butter cups. You can have them." Okay, will you be able to get your Reese's peanut butter cups? What is this this strike that is about to happen, or is happening? It started at midnight. How will it affect you? Steve Spurbeck is with ERL Intermodal, and he is certainly in the midst of all of this. Steven, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning. Am I caller number 7 to win Joe Havoca's money?
No, you're caller 8. Sorry.
I'm sorry. You're caller 8. It's the perfect time for that. It's coming up in a second. $200 today, by the way. Not bad.
Had it just. If I don't laugh in these times, I just want to cry anyway.
Right, you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh.
Exactly.
All right. So, what is this going to be? First of all, what does this mean for a company like yours?
Well, intermodal import-export is all we do. That's our business. It's been our model. It's kind of our niche market. We're probably the biggest carrier servicing upstate New York for all the manufacturers from Albany to Buffalo. So, if it goes longer than Friday, we're going to have to probably look at laying off all of our drivers. And
wow.
Are you serious?
Wow. So this really could have. And you're saying if this goes long, so it's Tuesday today if it goes longer than Friday.
So we've been preparing for this. Containers come off the ships, they're available, and you have 3 to 4 days to pick them up. So we've been running extra drivers down and pulling everything out as it becomes available. So we have enough deliveries to hold us over. But, it only works, we work in a 3-day, 4-day window. So, we only would have enough work to sustain until Friday, probably.
Wow. And then what happened? I mean, is this if this goes 4 or 5 days or longer, it's just the cleanup, if you will, we've been told, is just disastrous.
So every day of shutdown is 6 days of backlog at the ports.
Wow.
So, the union has too much power. The president is refusing to invoke the Taft-Hartley Act, which would make them work under the old contract until they can negotiate. They haven't, up until yesterday, they haven't even sat down at the table since June. And the president's refusing to get involved in the situation and gives the union even more power. And they have some valid complaints, but their salary demands are unrealistic. Imagine going to your boss, Bill, and saying, I need an 86% wage increase over the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, that's funny.
Hold on, I'm thinking about that. That's not a bad idea. But you're
I'm
right.
going to stay home tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. You're absolutely right. I mean, it gets to the point where I think sometimes we as humans become piggish.
Yeah.
And this is not a time for that, I don't believe.
Well, the union president makes $1 million a year. All the longshoremen in New York City make between $150,000 and $400,000 a year with overtime.
Wow. In the wrong business.
They're tell any kid graduating high school, go move to New Jersey and become a longshoreman. You'll be set for life.
Yeah.
Once you get through your 5 years apprenticeship, you'll be set. But cooler heads have to prevail. They got to at least be at the table, and that's where the president could get involved and say, listen, you need to. It's a $5 billion a day hit to the economy for every day that it's shut down.
Well,
the ripple effect for companies like us. All my drivers make $100,000 plus a year.
Wow.
That's a lot of money that's not gonna be in the economy if this goes any length of time.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, the union kind of wants it to last a little bit to kind of flex their muscle and prove their point. Because 50% of all imports comes through the Eastern Gulf Coast. So 40% of the country is served by the New York, New Jersey ports.
Wow. I will tell you, I think that the longer this lasts, where Biden says he's not going to get involved, this is going to become a political issue. And politically, they're going to have to somehow intervene. I would think. I don't know how you can't with the damage that something like this can cause.
Yeah. On the longshoremen, so there's a lot of moving pieces with this. The longshoremen claim that, they worked through COVID under their contract. They had a 6-year contract previously, which was for them. It's, usually they go on 3-year contracts. They work through COVID every day. Steamship lines, and Jackie Romano will be able to tell you this. They raise their rates whenever they feel like. If they start throwing missiles at ships in the Red Sea, the price of the container goes from $5,000 from Asia up to $25,000 because they got to go around Africa now. Steamship lines raise their rates whenever they feel like it.
Yeah.
Longshoremen don't have that. So they're saying steamship lines are making multi-billion-dollar profits, gouging the customers, gouging the manufacturers of this country, and United States Maritime Alliance, which is the union that oversees all the terminals, the docks, the port authorities, all that, are controlled by the steamship line. So the whole board of directors is made up by executives from steamship lines. So that's, it's basically you got steamships against your labor. And, they have some valid points, but they're also being unrealistic at this
fair enough. So this ultimately is going to affect, once it starts affecting jobs and this has tentacles connected to it. This is going to affect the everyday person. There's no doubt about it.
Well, and the president comes out on Sunday that we have a robust enough supply chain that we can withstand a disruption for up to 2 to 3 weeks. Down here in Savannah, Georgia, we just got devastated with the hurricane that came through.
Yeah.
We lost power for 3. Our grocery stores had nothing on the shelves because they had to throw all their food away because there's still people that still don't have power today from last Thursday.
Wow.
So our shelves are bare down in the southeast because, how is that going to get replenished? Because now the warehouses are going to get drained. Christmas is going to be fine because all the Christmas stock is already in the warehouses. Christmas in my business starts in July and August.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's already here, so we don't have to worry about any of that. But
they do say medicine, pharmaceutical supplies will be affected by this. That could be a real problem because we're already dealing with in some types of medicine, we're already dealing with a shortage.
And cars, Ricky Z's Mazdas all come in through the Port of Baltimore.
Yeah, yep.
Which is facing its own issues still, I'd imagine, with that bridge collapse, unless that's been resolved.
Well, that was a major disruption.
That's one thing Baltimore doesn't need on top of what they had already lost.
Yep.
All
right.
So this isn't good for anybody. It's gonna, you think inflation's back in check. Well, this might be the thing, and this is one thing the Democrats do not need.
Yeah.
So I'm amazed that the president's not getting more involved, at least to get the two sides together. But
okay, Steve, we appreciate it, and have a great day. Maybe later in the week we'll get an update from you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, good deal.
Reporting
Thank you.
from Savannah, Georgia, your Southeast correspondent, and we'll talk to you again later.
Steve Spurbeck, over and out. All right. Good deal, Steve. Thank you. That is Steve Spurbeck with ERL Intermodal, and they do business here. They do business down there, and this could be really, really damaging. All right, let me break. Coming up, we'll speak with the other thing that could slow things down, and that is people getting sick, and there are a lot of them out there right now. Davey, you're looking for Hobica's free money question of the day. Before we get to Dr. Hall, we're looking at $200 on the line. What caller number are you looking for?
Caller 6.
Sixth caller right now at 315-736-0186. Chance to win from Hobica and WIBX right now.
Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your trusted tire experts. Their experienced team is here to offer personalized advice for all your tire needs. Now through October 31st, purchase 4 eligible Bridgestone or Firestone tires and receive up to $170 in rebates. Whether you're in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, or Herkimer, their team of professionals is ready to serve you. Schedule your appointment today at TallmansTire.com. Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Get the best tires for your vehicle at unbeatable prices, guaranteed.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Right now at Mattress Express, buy almost any king or queen set in the store and get a free adjustable base upgrade. Everybody loves a free adjustable base. And take up to 5 years to pay for anything in the store with no money down for qualified buyers. See store for details.
October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. As the leader in identity theft protection, LifeLock reminds you to update your passwords. Using the same password across multiple accounts makes you vulnerable to cyber criminals. Updating your passwords is only one way to help protect yourself. For comprehensive identity theft protection, you need LifeLock. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes issues that arise. Start protecting your identity today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY.
Long before Brian Miller was fighting for upstate New York as our assemblyman, he was part of a small team of MVCC engineering graduates who designed machinery to manufacture superalloy metal powder. Today, what Brian designed at Homogeneous Metals in Clayville is still being used in their process to manufacture parts found in jet engines being flown all over the world. That is impressive. And so is getting politicians to work together at Albany. It takes a special kind of person to engineer that. Brian puts on the blinders, politics aside, and he works to create better jobs and opportunity for all of us, including our graduates and young people who are finally seeing career opportunities right here at home. Brian fights for seniors, farmers, education, small business, and those of us affected by inflation simply trying to make ends meet. This election, vote Brian Miller, New York Assembly, a representative for all of us. Paid for by Brian Miller for Assembly.
Donald Trump Jr. here. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back, but you can stop your losses by diversifying into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word HEDGE to 989898. That's HEDGE to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Message and data rates may apply.
My name is Danielle Thazier. I'm a vascular surgeon at the Wynn Hospital. As a vascular surgeon, we work on the vascular system of the body, which includes the arteries and veins. People come to see vascular surgeons for a variety of reasons. We treat aneurysms, peripheral arterial disease, carotid disease. We also treat venous disease, varicose veins. We can do vein stripping, or we can do vein ablations where we go inside the vein and close the vein off. We can treat them minimally invasively. The Wynn offers us a great opportunity to do that because we have state-of-the-art hybrid operating rooms. That means we can operate in the traditional sense as well as do the endovascular procedures, which means that we're using the catheters and the wires and the stents in the same setting as doing open vascular surgery. Minimally invasive vascular surgery often is a day procedure. Patients come in the same day as they go home, and they go home feeling much better than they came in.
Keeler in the morning, Keeler in the morning.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Listen, each morning at this time, we give you a chance to win Hobica's free money question of the day. From the Hobica Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobica, 315-724-1600. Yeah. Who will win today? Will there be a winner today? Well, everybody wins every day, but are we going to talk about money today? $200 on the line for this October 1st. Can we start the month off in winning fashion? And on the line right now is Sean in New Hartford. Hello, Sean. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good. You ready?
Yes, I am.
Well, he is a ready.
Are you a baseball fan?
No.
Oh boy. Well, that might hurt here, but let's see. You never know. Here's your question. During the 7 seconds to answer, just get an answer in if you don't know. During the 1970s, early 70s, after sliding into second base, I believe it was a playoff game, Pete Rose punched this New York Met right in the face. Who was the Met? Ready, go.
No clue.
He was a shortstop.
Oh.
He was a shortstop. He actually recently just passed away. He was actually a manager for the Little Falls Mets. Shortstop during the amazing 1969 Mets, Buddy Harrelson. Pete Rose, Buddy Harrelson got into a fight in the infield right at second base, and Rose punched him right in the face. Yeah, he was a feisty one, that Pete Rose.
Yes, he was.
All right, well, listen, now they're both dead. Sad. We're gonna give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card. Good at Aquavino. At Babes, you know they do an amazing brunch. If you've not tried it yet, check it out. Saturdays and Sundays. And, of course, anytime at Babes, Taylor and the Cook, and the Odd, and anywhere. All that stuff. So stand by. Davey's going to hook you up.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, Sean. Thank you. I've talked about that before, so you may have known the answer to that.
Yes, and any Mets or Reds fan would definitely know
Probably
the answer.
know that. Yeah, P. Rose dying yesterday at the age of 83. Couple of quickie comments here. Mike this morning on, let's see. Yep, there you. And by the way, Mark Blask, former mayor of Little Falls, with a picture of Buddy Harrelson right there. Him and his dad.
Still got the shiner
And Buddy
from
Harrelson. His dad used to be one of the owners of the Little Falls Mets. Mike says, looks like I'll have to break out Santa Claus toilet paper early this year if there's a shortage. Here is Dr. Kent Hall.
Can I say really quickly about just carrying over the conversation about the strikes? Kevin in Utica. Tommy used to work on the docks. The union's on strike. He's down on his luck. It's tough. Sorry, couldn't help myself.
Okay. Tommy was making some pretty good money.
Yeah, he was. Yes,
and
he
in fact,
was.
Mike said if you guys got an 86% raise, you'd actually make it to minimum wage. Only if we're lucky, Mike. Dr. Kent Hall on the line right now. Doc, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good. And great to have you on. Doc, I got to tell you, there are a lot of people that are... I've had 3 guests... 3 things that I was supposed to do this week cancel because the person, and I think in all 3 cases they said, I've got something. It's either the flu or it's COVID, waiting on a test. So it's out there and it seems to be increasing.
Yeah, so this is the time of year, right? You know, we get a little late summer surge in, starting in mid-August. That tends to plateau around the first part of September. But then starting late September and October, it starts to go up again, and it's going to keep going up for the next, unfortunately, probably for the next four months or so, through January, and then it starts to plateau and then tail off.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is COVID flu. This is flu and RSV season, and I believe it's going to start being COVID season as well. Because this is now going to become our ongoing annual, somewhat seasonal, although COVID actually goes beyond just seasons. But, this is what we're in for. And so people getting their vaccinations, people being smart so that they're not putting themselves and or their loved ones or friends at risk by going out and making other people sick. The issue with severe disease with COVID, when people have significant medical problems, we all know that. But the other thing is, the long COVID, and it doesn't have a designation, but the long flu. I mean, there are more people now that are having long-term complications, mostly pulmonary, mostly chronic cough, difficulty breathing, things like that related to flu infections. And that's, that can be really debilitating for, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So you really have to be thoughtful about it. You just don't want to get sick, I think, is the bottom line.
It is. I mean, for some people, it could mean, if you're immune compromised, it could mean immunocompromised. It could mean it can be very dangerous. For other people, it may not be as dangerous, but it's still going to knock you out for a week. And then the other thing I find with these today is the cold or whatever it is that is ailing you, upper respiratory thing, seems to last weeks after the whole thing is over.
Yeah, there's this chronic inflammatory condition that affects the airways. It's not fully understood as to why it occurs in some people, doesn't occur in others. But it does cause significant problems with breathing, and that has a snowball effect, because if you can't breathe well, then that means that you're not getting enough oxygen, and if you're not getting oxygen, then your whole body obviously is not going to function as it should.
Yeah.
So it's just really very important, as much as possible, to avoid getting sick, avoid getting serious illness, which is why I always tout, if you are eligible, and almost everybody is now, get the vaccine so that you can, protect yourself.
My wife got the COVID and flu vaccine at the same time last week. Ever since she got the shots, she's now been suffering from normalcy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. You do recommend the vaccines?
Absolutely, yeah. Again, unless there's some medical condition that keeps you from getting them, and that's a very small number of people. That's usually related to an allergy to one of the constituents, or if you've had a severe reaction to the vaccine in the past. But that's a very small number of people. So yes, you should be getting that. And if eligible for the for older people like myself, getting the RSV vaccine also is going to be an important thing, because that also is a disease that honestly, up until 3-4 years ago, we really didn't think about much in adults, but now it's becoming much more of a thing.
Yeah. Dr. Hall, as always, we appreciate it. You have a wonderful week, and we'll talk again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and please be safe.
Stay healthy out there. She did have a little soreness in the arm, but that was it.
Yeah.
That's all she got. That's still good?
Yes.
Because I've got stuff to, somebody is saying, you keep asking such difficult questions. No one's ever going to win the contest. What?
Come on.
Are you kidding me?
Who said that?
I don't want to say the person's name.
Well, you're going to tell me off the air.
I will tell you off the air.
Publicly shame them privately.
Let me just give you an example of what
There's
some of the
been
questions
some
have been.
very doable questions.
102-year-old Quick Cut in Mohawk is famous for manufacturing what? It's called, Davey, come on, go ahead.
The chopper.
The food chopper. Which fast food franchise is credited with creating the very first modern drive-through window?
Wendy's.
These are all questions we have had.
Look at
Davey is 2 for 2.
Like cha-chinging.
He was the first drummer for the Beatles.
Pete Best.
3 in a row. What is the world's most consumed manufactured drink? This one was a little tough, but you could get it. The answer? Tea. This classic candy, first called the Papa Sucker. Oh, boy. It was nothing but caramel on a stick.
Sugar
That
Daddy.
was the Sugar Daddy. If Frederick Mackay is famous for discovering fluoride, what made William Addis famous?
The toothbrush.
The Atlanta Braves, founded in 1871 in what city?
Austin.
That's correct. Where was the first ever chewing gum sold? This was tough.
This was a tough one.
Maine.
Here's the thing. You
It was
gotta
the American
have...
Indians that actually were chewing like resin made from sap from spruce trees.
You've got to have some difficulty in the questions. Otherwise, Habaika would go broke.
And during the 70s, after sliding into second base, Pete Rose punched this New York Met right in the face.
Buddy Harrelson.
That's an easy question if you're a Mets fan or a baseball fan or a Pete Rose Cincinnati
and
Reds fan.
topical because Pete Rose just died.
Passed away. Yep.
Yeah. I forgot about this, but you know what happens is we kind of do these when someone dies. You don't go to a funeral and they start going into all their indiscretions, right? Yes, it's true. Bob cheated on 3 wives and married 5. Yes, it's true. He was caught shoplifting that one time. But, overall, he's a nice guy. He was a really good guy, and he's going to be missed greatly. You don't do that. However, if you're a celebrity, you got to remember the time that the female claimed that she had an affair with Pete Rose when she was underage.
Oh.
I forgot all about that. And the only thing that saved him from being charged was statute of limitations. Otherwise, he would have been charged for that.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't, and I kind of forgot all about that. Pete Rose...
I know, it is a shame that, you have people, when they pass away, the good things are remembered and the not-so-nice things.
But at a funeral, at a eulogy, you only remember the good things, right?
Yeah, right. You hope.
Yesterday, I was at Steve Ponte Mazda, a family member, buy a CX-90. An award-winning CX-90. The safest vehicle in America. 0% APR financing? Yes, at Steve Ponte Mazda. Drive a new 2024 CX-5 SE model, only $285 a month, or a 36-month lease. That's what the $285 a month is. Or you could save 0% APR financing. 0% APR financing on select new Mazdas. Check it out. As Rick says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda where it's always easy to do business. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive, Yorkville.
Carl's massive overstock clearance is on. Our loss is your gain. Carl's is jam-packed with inventory. We must make room now. Unbelievable deals like dual reclining sofa and love seat sets, $4.99 each piece. Recliners from $1.99. Sofa and love seat sets from $2.99 each piece. Sofa sleepers from $5.99. Complete bedrooms $7.99 or less. Plus, no credit needed financing is available during a massive overstock clearance on now at Carl's Wholesale Furniture Warehouse. Shop more amazing deals online at mycarls.com.
Orpheus was a poor boy, but he had a gift to give. And Eurydice was a young girl, but she'd seen how the world was. She fell in spite of herself in love with Orpheus.
Broadway Utica proudly presents Hadestown, October 8th and 9th at the Stanley Theater. For tickets, go to BroadwayUtica.org.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE, Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. As the leader in identity theft protection, LifeLock reminds you to update your passwords. Using the same password across multiple accounts makes you vulnerable to cyber criminals. Updating your passwords is only one way to help protect yourself. For comprehensive identity theft protection, you need LifeLock. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes issues that arise. Start protecting your identity today with a 30-day free trial.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
They're looking for more victims after the sunrise. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Our little town here has just been absolutely decimated.
He's in Sewananoa, outside Nashville, North Carolina, one of many communities devastated by flooding.
Not only are the buildings gone on one side of the road, the ground that the building sat on is no longer there.
Hurricane Helene's damage is widespread from Florida to Tennessee. The storm blamed for at least 128 deaths. Hundreds more people remain unaccounted for. Some cut off with roads washed out and cell service out.
We will continue to do everything we can to help you recover and to help you rebuild, no matter how long it takes.
Vice President Harris at a FEMA disaster meeting in Washington. President Biden will go to North Carolina to survey damage tomorrow. Former President Trump posted on Truth Social, it's been a really bad hurricane response, after saying while meeting victims and touring damage in Valdosta, Georgia.
We're not talking about politics now. We have to all get together and get this solved. We need a lot of help. They have to have a lot of help down here.
Israel's turned up the heat on Hezbollah, sending troops into Lebanon today, days after an airstrike killed militant group's leader.
Israel is complementing its limited ground offensive with additional airstrikes across Lebanon, while Hezbollah is responding with a constant wave of rockets into northern and central Israel.
Fox's Nate Foy in Tel Aviv. There's a big strike that could affect the economy. About 50,000 dock workers walked off their jobs after midnight at ports from Maine to Texas.
We are fighting for our families, and we are fighting for the rights so that we have a right to get a piece of that money that they got so much of.
International Longshoremen's Union President Harold Daggett, a baseball legend who went from famous to infamous, has died. Pete Rose. He's the all-time Major League hits leader. But Rose is not in the Hall of Fame because his career ended in shame. Banned from baseball in 1989 for betting on games while he was a Reds player and manager, Pete Rose was 83. America's listening to Fox News.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
5 weeks before the election, the last scheduled debate tonight, a showdown of the Trump-Harris running mates.
This could be the first and the last debate here coming up before the big presidential election that's happening in just a matter of days. It's going to be Tim Walz on that stage and J.D. Vance are going to go after each other, but it really comes down to being more about the top of the ticket. They might skip over more of those personal attacks on each other, but we've heard that the Trump team believes Vance is ready. Walz is, according to media reports, very nervous for this debate, but his team says he is prepared and plans to be what? Well, just himself. They think that he's got those Midwest values that are going to come across on the debate stage tonight. Vance is expected to slam him, though, as a weird, radical liberal. No matter the campaign strategy, both of these teams know just how pivotal this debate could be.
That's Fox's Alexis McAdams outside CBS News, which is hosting the vice presidential debate tonight in New York City. On Wall Street, stock futures, they are mixed before a new month and quarter of trading, up for the NASDAQ, down for the Dow, which closed September at a record high. Happy birthday to Jimmy Carter, the first ex-president to reach 100 years old.
At his home under hospice in Plains, Georgia. Celebrations in honor of Carter's birthday. His legacy, both inside and outside politics, have been underway in Georgia for weeks, including a personal message to the longest living former president by the oldest sitting U.S. president.
Mr. President, on behalf of the entire Biden family and the American people, happy 100th birthday.
Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
The Major League Baseball playoffs start today after a doubleheader that finished the season. The New York Mets and the Atlanta Braves split, so they clinched the last two National League wild cards, eliminating Arizona. There was also a doubleheader on Monday Night Football. The Detroit Lions beat the Seattle Seahawks 42-29. The Tennessee Titans topped the Miami Dolphins 31-12. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time, 8:05. I'm Andrew Dominio. We're at 57 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. This update brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Go to johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more information. There are new details following a fire that occurred in Little Falls Sunday evening. According to Little Falls police, one person was found dead in that blaze. An investigation determined the individual took their own life after setting the fire. Damage from the fire was limited to the upstairs apartment. However, both apartments have extensive water damage. As a result, the fire displaced only one other person. A public hearing was held Monday evening at the Herkimer VFW regarding the decommissioning of the Mirror Lake Dam. Deemed unsafe by the state DEC, it was decided that it would be more cost-effective to remove the dam than to make repairs. The water level of Mirror Lake will be lowered, and the dam will be replaced by 2 watershed diversion berms as part of the project. Representatives from the DEC were on hand to answer questions and alleviate concerns from residents. Those questions ranged from flooding concerns to the area becoming a breeding ground for mosquitoes. A funeral service will be held today for the Oswego County Sheriff's deputy who died in the line of duty. The memorial for Deputy Kaylee Campbell will take place at noon inside the Fulton Alliance Church on Route 48 in Fulton. Campbell was responding to a crash in Volney last week when her cruiser went through an intersection and was struck by another vehicle. The 33-year-old Campbell was rushed to a nearby hospital but could not be saved. Sheriff Don Hilton says what happened is simply a tragic accident. Beginning next week, Centro will be launching rural bus service throughout Oneida County. The service is going to link Rome, Utica, and Turning Stone Resort Casino in Verona through 6 daily round trips. That'll happen between 7:45 a.m. and 6 p.m. Key stops will not only include the casino, but also the Walmart Distribution Center, Marcy Correctional Facility, and MVCC Rome. Fares will be $3 for adults and $1.50 for seniors, 65 and older, and disabled individuals. And a New York Mets legend will be serving as keynote speaker for the Salvation Army's 53rd annual Civil Celebration Lunch. Darryl Strawberry will be addressing the crowd that gathers at the On-Center Convention Center in Syracuse next Tuesday. Strawberry will discuss a variety of topics, including his story of finding hope and strength through his struggles, such as cancer and drug addiction. Tickets to the event can be purchased online. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time, 8:07. Your weather forecast is brought to you by the Stanley Center for the Arts. For today, we'll see partly sunny skies with a high in the mid-70s. Overnight, partly cloudy skies with a low in the mid-50s. We'll see cloudy skies tomorrow with a chance of rain, a high in the mid-60s. Looking ahead to the weekend, that will be real nice. We'll see sunny skies with temperatures in the low to mid-70s. Right now, we're at 57 under cloudy skies at 8:08. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43 local contractors. Sad news in the world of baseball. Pete Rose, baseball's hit king, has died at the age of 83. Rose passed away Monday at his home in Las Vegas. Rose accumulated 4,256 hits over a career that spanned 24 seasons, but was banned from the sport after it was determined he bet on games. A switch hitter, Rose played most of his career for the Cincinnati Reds, but also spent time in Philly and Montreal. Rose returned to Cincinnati, where he finished his career as a player-manager. In addition to being the 1963 NL Rookie of the Year, Rose was a 17-time All-Star, won 3 World Series, and was the 1973 Most Valuable Player. Most recently, he was in Cooperstown for Hall of Fame weekend, where he regularly was. Jared Goff of the Detroit Lions made NFL history in a win over the Seahawks Monday night. Goff, the quarterback, set an NFL record by completing all 18 of his pass attempts for 292 yards and 2 touchdowns as Detroit downed Seattle 42-29 at Ford Field. Goff also had a 7-yard touchdown catch in the third quarter for his first career receiving score. The Lions have won back-to-back games and sit second in the NFC North at 3-1. Seattle's Geno Smith was 38 of 56 for 395 yards, 1 touchdown, and an interception in the losing effort. The Seahawks remain atop the NFC West at 3-1. Also, the Dolphins lost to the Titans, part of the doubleheader of Monday Night Football. The Mets punched their ticket to the postseason in exciting fashion. They split Monday's doubleheader with the Atlanta Braves after winning the first game 8-7 after 2 lead changes late in the game. They dropped the second game 3-0 at Truist Park, but Francisco Lindor slugged a clutch 2-run homer in the top of the 9th of that first game, and Edwin Diaz was credited with the victory. The Mets finished the regular season as the 3rd NL wild card after going 89-73. They'll take on the Milwaukee Brewers in the best-of-3 wild card round beginning tonight at American Family Field.
During the game, I was texting back and forth with Bill Morehouse last night. Or yesterday afternoon.
Yes.
And when when Mendoza was coming out, Bill texted and said, "Pull him out, put him on a bus, and we will never see him again."
Yeah.
And no, this is the thing Mendoza does. He'll come out when a pitcher's in trouble, and he'll be like, "How are you feeling?" And the pitcher, "I'm feeling good. I can do it. I can do it." "You're sure?" Yep, I can do it. I'm gonna do it. And
it's not too often a manager comes out for the counseling session.
Correct. And then he says, "Okay, it's your game." And he walks away. And I've seen that. I watch a lot of Mets games. I've seen it at least twice. Both times, maybe not both with him, but with Diaz. But he did it yesterday, and it worked. He gave up. Diaz ended up giving him one run, and I thought another one was about to go with a man on third, and he didn't.
That is a manager.
Struck him out. That is a manager. I completely agree. I really like him as a manager. You don't like Boone.
No, I do not.
Bill Morehouse, I'm just telling you, I think we're in good hands right now with this manager.
Bill
like
Morehouse, speaking up this morning when we were talking about Stewarts, I missed this when we were on with Chuck. Maybe it's a one-off, but the Stewarts in South Utica is terribly managed. The trash is always full. The inventory stinks, and they don't have enough employees. Besides that, they do a great job.
We
always know where Bill is thinking.
You're never going to sit and wonder, gee, what does Bill
Morehouse think about things? Yeah. Good morning, Bill.
Rob, this morning, Dementia Joe was asked over the weekend if he would intervene in the strike, and he said no because it's collective bargaining, and he can force them to work. World and country is a mess with Dems in charge, Rob. I just booked I'm doing a hit, as they call it, on the Talk London TV network today. They're asking, what does the average person in America think about the election? Mm-hmm. And this on the night of, by the way,
the vice presidential
debate, which is going to be tonight. Rick says, watching tonight's debate is like going to a concert to see a warm-up band you don't know when the headline act has canceled. Okay, fair enough. And later in the hour, we'll talk to my friend Jack. He had pulled some sort of I can't remember the whole story, but it was a whole Pete Rose thing. And it was like a week-long controversy over Pete Rose. And I cannot remember the details, but he's going to refresh my memory anyway, coming up and tell the story. But it resulted in us getting Pete Rose on the air back in the 90s. And
you didn't charge for that?
He did not charge us for
That's
that.
good.
But we did have to promote where he was going to be to charge for autographs. We'll get to all that coming up this hour and a whole bunch more. Stand by. Father Joe Salerno, a very sad loss this week in the loss of Father Paul Drobin. We'll speak with Father Joe on that. Also, Sal Barbero on Pete Rose. And Sal is our resident umpire. He's the head of the Umpires Association here locally and is good at what he does. He'll have a lot to say about Pete Rose and why Pete Rose has not been inducted as a Hall of Famer. He is in the Hall of Fame. Let's not forget that.
Correct. He's mentioned.
Well,
his stats are there.
His stats are there. His records are there. His hits record is there. That's all a part of baseball history. But he is not being honored with his bust as a Hall of Fame inductee. And I guess I don't think that'll ever change, to be honest. Got a break. We'll get into it all coming up at WIBX. Hold on. You want me to do that again?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's good. We'll get it all coming up at WIBX.
We all like convenience, right? ATMs, takeout food, drive-through pharmacies. Now, Bremer's is making it just as convenient to enjoy your favorite wines and spirits with Bremer's to go. It's simple. Place your order at bremerswineandliquor.com or save $5 on your first order with our mobile app. Order during store hours for pickup within an hour. Hey, you can even call us when you get to the store and we'll bring your order right out and load it in the car for you. Now that's convenience. Maybe you're planning a party. Maybe you want to stock up on your favorite wines, or you just want to save time when you're out and about. Whatever the reason, at Bremer's, we're all about incredible customer service. So when you're on the go, we are too. Order at bremerswineandliquor.com or save $5 with our mobile app. Order during store hours for pickup within an hour. It's Bremer's to go, available 7 days a week from Bremer's Wine and Liquor on Commercial Drive in New Hartford.
28 years ago, Lori Potasowicz had a dream. With a natural love for pets, she wanted to become an expert groomer. So she set out to become the area's only nationally certified master groomer and launched her business, One Paw at a Time. With grooming expertise and a lot of loving care, Lori and her talented team began caring for pets one paw at a time. Cuts, shampoos, and styling, one paw at a time. Teeth and nails with no detail overlooked from head to toe, one paw at a time. Getting to know each and every dog and cat by name, the One Paw at a Time family grew, and Lori had a decision to make. Keep expanding? She followed her heart and decided to keep the One Paw family atmosphere just the way it is, so she can keep taking care of the pets she knows and loves, one paw at a time. Lori and her team want to thank the families they serve for putting their trust in them to care for their four-legged family members, one paw at a time. 320 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro near Woods Road. One Paw appreciates your understanding for their current waiting list for new customers.
Join members of Christ the King Shrine on Thursday, October 3rd from 2 to 4 at the Good News Center to meet guest speaker Jerome Donovan. Leave a message at 315-797-2546 to RSVP.
By now, you've probably heard of Upside, the free app that gets you real cash back at gas stations. But Upside is so much more than just a gas app. Upside lets you earn cash back at more than 85,000 grocery stores, gas stations, and restaurants, including popular national chains and local favorites. Just download the free app, claim an offer, and get real cash back on your purchase. There are no complicated points or rebates. With Upside, you can earn up to $10 cash back every time you go to the grocery store or dine out. That's up to $10 right back in your pocket on every meal out and every grocery run. The best part? You can earn on top of your credit or debit card rewards. Download Upside today. Use promo code SNACK10 and get a 10% cashback bonus on your first purchase. Get the Upside app and use promo code SNACK10 for an extra 10% cashback bonus. That's promo code SNACK10. Offers vary by user and location. Terms and conditions apply. Go to upside.com for details.
Hey, Jen. OMG, look how busy it is in here. How'd you get all these customers?
Yeah, this month has been a record breaker for us. For a long time, we had decent business coming in from word of mouth, but we weren't growing. Lately, though, a lot of new folks have been finding us online, and that's made all the difference.
That's terrific. I wish I could figure out how to do that for my shop, but I have no idea where to start.
Just do what I did. It's not as hard as you'd think. Go to mylocalcustomers.com to see exactly how many searches there are for businesses like yours.
Okay, then what?
If you see that there are a good number of clients searching in our area, you'll also get some suggestions for the best way to get their attention.
Do you think there are a lot of people searching for my business?
There's only one way to find out. Go to mylocalcustomers.com. It's quick, easy, and free.
Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free local customer analysis that will show you how many customers are searching online for your type of business. It's quick, easy, and free. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM is celebrating its 99th birthday with talk show host and comedian Jimmy Fallon.
Hey, it's your radio buddy Jimmy Fallon, and I am coming. This is not a drill, folks.
Jimmy Fallon, heard on WIBX and radio stations around the country weekdays and seen on his live TV show Saturday nights on Fox News Channel, is coming for one show only, Friday, December 6th at 8 p.m. at the Rome Capitol Theater.
What you've just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Tickets start at $47 and are on sale now at RomeCapital.com. RomeCapital.com.
Bottom of the ninth on this show. I'm heading up to Utica. I'm doing the show live from WIBX tomorrow. Hanging out with my man Davey.
Jimmy Fallon, one night only at the Rome Capitol Theater from Keeler in the morning. And WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Celebrating 99 amazing years. Get your tickets at RomeCapital.com.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Show sponsored in part by First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Let's do this, baby.
This is Keeler in the morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Well, we heard sad news this week that the loss of a very cherished and important person in our area, Father Paul Drobin, has passed away. On the line right now to talk with us about his life and his legacy, Father Joe Salerno. Father, good morning.
Good morning. How is everyone?
We're doing well.
We're doing well, Father.
This was sad news. He did a lot for people here and for the community.
No doubt about it. Father Paul was involved in the life of our community for many, many years, not only in church life, but in civic life as well.
One thing that I did not realize is his love of the Utica Public Library.
I don't know how many years he served on the board of the library, but the years were significant. He provided great leadership for the board of the library, and I believe his involvement made a crucial difference in the legacy that was left and the existence of our library, especially in our city.
Now, Father Joe, I know you're a very humble man, and I'm proud to call you my friend. And for a lot of people, they look at their priests, their pastors, as members of the family. And for a lot of people, that's how Father Paul was a family member. And talk about what a loss of this magnitude has when it impacts a community.
Well, again, Paul was involved. Some might even say enmeshed in the life of the greater Utica area. You know, he was a pastor at St. John's in New Hartford. He was a mentor in so many ways, involved in Newman life at Hamilton College, at SUNY, at Utica University, especially where he served for many years. So his involvement and his presence in so many aspects of our greater community's life really made a significant difference for many.
And, on another note here, there's no question the difficulty that dioceses across the country are dealing with is a priest shortage. And Father Drobin, as far as I can remember, was still very active in recent years. How does this impact, maybe the burden of, and I hate to maybe use that word, but the burden of other priests in our diocese to carry some of the pastoral load or the mass load that comes with it?
Well, the death of every priest affects our ability to minister. There's no doubt about that. And Paul was especially loved and embraced the life of our Catholic community as a priest and beyond. For these last years of his life, because of difficulties that he had standing especially, he wasn't able to preside over liturgy, is a churchy term. He wasn't able to celebrate Mass or preside over services. But he was always present. In my years as pastor at Mary, Mother of Our Savior, known as Our Lady of Lourdes and Our Lady of the Rosary, Paul was ever present among us, but he participated from the congregation. But that was leadership of prayer. He continued to lead in so many other ways and touched people's lives in so many other ways.
Yeah. Well, it is a great loss for this community, but what he just being here was a great gain, obviously, and he did so much for the community. So he will be greatly missed, Father Paul Drobin. And Father Joe, how are you doing in retirement?
If you can call it that.
Yeah, because I see you in a lot of places. It doesn't seem like you're overly retired.
I'm adjusting to being repurposed. Let's put it that way.
All right.
And retirement, I've given up the leadership role of pastor, which I've had for over 30 some odd years in various communities here in our greater Utica area. But I still remain active in ministry, and I find that life-giving to me, and I try to be life-giving to others as well. So. You'll see me here, there, and everywhere.
And on a personal note, over the summer, my wife and I had a chance to go to visit the Vatican and to walk through the Sistine Chapel. Not walk through, but stand in the Sistine Chapel. And I got to tell you, my wife is Catholic. I am not. But it is an unbelievable experience, a huge religious experience. Whether you're religious or not, I don't know how you couldn't have some sort of a religious experience standing inside, just looking up and looking around. It was just incredible.
It connects you with ages past and ages still to come, and I would agree with you. It's and maybe in some senses beyond words. It just lifts you up to beyond where you are.
Yeah, there is no doubt about that.
I'm glad it was for you and for your wife.
It absolutely was. And I wanted everybody to know I did not take a picture inside, because that is a no-no.
Against the rules.
There were plenty of Americans doing it. It wasn't us. I wanted so much to whip out my camera, believe me. What an amazing experience. Yeah. Father Joe Salerno, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the time this morning.
You're more than welcome. God bless. Have a great day.
And you do the same. Father Joe. Yeah, that is a big, and he's been, Father Drobin had been in the studio a number of times for different events and things that are going on, festivals and that sort of thing, but was a really, really involved in the community.
Remarkable guy.
Yep. All right, I have to break. We're going to talk about another guy who was probably not as remarkable. We're talking about Pete Rose. That at the age, listen, the guy was incredible, unbelievable talent, but wasn't the nicest guy. And When it comes to morality, probably lacks just a little bit.
Yeah, kind of the opposite spectrum there.
Probably.
Father Drobin and Pete Rose.
Father Pete Rose. We'll speak with Sal Barbero about Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, and should he be in, should he not be in. Pete Rose, of course, dying, announced his death yesterday at the age of 83. I guess I didn't say that quite right. He didn't announce his death, but his death was announced.
Was announced, yes.
At the age of 83, Pete Rose has passed away. We'll get into that coming up in a second. Hold it tight. The first day of October at WIBX.
Need new tires? Nokian Tires is celebrating 90 years of legendary Hakkapeliitta winter tires with a consumer rebate. Now through October 31st. When you buy 4 select winter, all-season, and all-weather tires, you can save up to $80 by mail on a MasterCard prepaid card. Offer expires October 31st, 2024. Experience the thrill of savings on every mile at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Visit their stores and meet their team of experts, or schedule your appointment online at tallmanstire.com.
Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Watch captivating dramas and gripping mysteries, whether it's entire series of massive hits like Sherlock and Vera, new seasons of originals like The Responder, starring international Emmy winner Martin Freeman, or an extraordinary selection of beloved treasures featuring Idris Elba, Jodie Comer, Matthew McFadden, Benedict Cumberbatch, and more. Only on BritBox. Watch with a free trial at BritBox.com.
If you're looking for flooring, boy, do I have the perfect place for you. This is Bill Keeler, and I highly recommend Sarah's Flooring Outlet, the area's leading flooring store. They have the absolute largest inventory in Central New York, and it's a brand new store at the Route 49 Plaza in Marcy. And if you're looking for Pergo Extreme, they have a price guarantee anywhere in the area within a 60-mile radius of their store. It's a pretty awesome deal, and you know you're going to get the best deal at Insera's. Log on to their website at InserasFlooringOutlet.com and sign up to save $50 off your next purchase of $500 or more. You can shop online or in the store. You will not find a better selection than Insera's Flooring Outlet. See why more people buy from the big store. Its selection, its price, and it's a 6-month interest-free financing. Log on to the website, InserasFlooringOutlet.com, and see for yourself, or visit their store. Insera's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road in Marcy.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Tomorrow morning, we're live from Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. It's Sheriff Machel's
Coffee with a Cop.
Coffee with a Cop. That'll be tomorrow morning from 6 until 9 at Daylight Donuts, where you can try the matcha, the green tea matcha latte. So good. The pumpkin cheesecake muffins are in.
Oh.
Pumpkin donuts. The pumpkin latte. Coffee espresso lattes, the drive-through lightning fast. And all that construction is done now. So you can get in and out, and you can go to where you need to go. And, of course, now they do the avocado toast on toasted peasant, French peasant bread.
From Heidelberg.
From Heidelberg.
Wow.
Or as they say, Heidelberg.
Heidelberg.
That is really, really good. Couple of comments. Mike, what the Hall of Fame should do is have a limited time memorial to Pete. Perhaps run it a month. It would be an opportunity to honor the achievements of Pete without formally inducting him into the Hall. It would be sort of like a week, and if you did it during a slow month, it would be a real opportunity to increase attendance at Cooperstown. I think that would be kind of a neat idea. Ann in Rome, good morning. You are so wrong about Pete Rose. I met him. He was very nice. We had a good conversation. All right, Ann. Wayne, I was telling Andrew they should put statues of Rose and Bonds outside in front of the Hall of Fame to make a statement that they're not getting it. Have them posed looking in, like they're looking in, like, you going to let us in or not?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I see what he's doing.
He's on the outside looking in.
I like it.
Oh, boy.
Stefan on the Mets yesterday. Wow. What a game. Almost blown twice. Stefan, good morning.
Let's go Mets.
Yeah,
Let's
boy, we're
go Mets.
Yeah, you're going to do the chant.
I can give some play-by-play on a game recap of what happened in Game 1.
All right, I don't know if you know, but yesterday the Mets and Braves played a doubleheader. Game 1, what happened in Game 1 yesterday?
Well, the Mets were down 3-0 for a long time till about the 8th inning. They couldn't hit a lick, and then they took a 6-3 lead, and then they were down 7-6, and then they were ahead 8-7, and they won 8-7. And Diaz, the closer, threw 40 pitches to close it.
Yeah, he threw 20 pitches the day before, 40 pitches to close this out, because he pitched part of the 8th inning as well, gave up the lead. Then they left him in, which I was surprised, but that was Mendoza's move, and they left him in, and he almost gave up the lead again, but he ended up getting the strikeout, and the Mets win. What a win, and what a, if I was an Atlanta Braves, and we're used to that as Mets fans, right? But the Braves, oh boy, they were just crushed after that defeat.
Yeah, but the Braves ended up winning the second game, so both the Braves and Mets got into the postseason, and the Diamondbacks did not get in.
Well, there was no necessity to that game for the Mets, right? The Braves had to win, the Mets didn't. Some players sat, others, they were just going out there, as they said, and having fun.
Yes, and the Mets have to play Milwaukee now in the wild card, and Milwaukee has had the Mets number, and hopefully the Mets can get by Milwaukee, but their road to hoe is kind of tough.
Now, after that, though, they would play the Philadelphia Phillies, which the Mets have played very well this year.
Yes, they would. That would be gravy and a very that would be a blessing if the Mets could get to Philly and play them.
All right, Stephen, thanks for the update. We appreciate it. Very well said.
And let's go Mets in the postseason.
Yeah, very exciting. Okay, I want to switch to Sal Barbero. Sal is an umpire, part of the head of the Umpire Association here locally. And Sal, good morning. Your thoughts on Pete Rose passing away?
Good morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. What do you think?
Stefan knows his stuff, doesn't he?
Oh, don't you question him.
He knows his Mets. There is no doubt. I was trying to watch the game, but he continued to text me through the whole game, and I'm like,
hey, so did I.
Everybody was. Believe me, it was boy, what a game that was. Holy cow.
Listen, I don't think I've ever seen a crazier ending to a game than what I witnessed yesterday.
That was something, wasn't it? It was really I would hate to have been Diaz blowing the lead and then almost blowing it again, but listen, this just shows you this team has what it takes to stay alive. Let's see how they do it with Milwaukee, a team they have not playing in Milwaukee. I think they have a record of 4-20 or something. It's not good.
They were 1-5 against Milwaukee this year.
Yeah. This is going to be a tough one. So, okay, Sal, Pete Rose, should he be in the as an inductee into the Baseball Hall of Fame?
My opinion, yes. I wrote an editorial. Oh God, it's going to be a while ago, 7-8 years ago, maybe in the OD, and I mentioned about him being in the Hall. And then I'm on a group text with about 11 umpires. And when we found out he passed, a lot of the umpires were going back and forth, and the ones who responded all said that he should be in.
Yeah,
Listen, what he did was wrong. Okay, we know that.
Yep.
And he lied for a couple decades, so that's not going to help. But in my opinion, what he did on that field, the way he played the game, Charlie Hustle, pitch leader. I just think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Let me ask you guys a question. Is what Rose did, is it worse than what Canseco, Aguirre, Bonds, Sosa, Clemens did?
Right. No, it is not, and they're also not in the Hall.
Yeah, but they're not. Right. So they're not banned.
They're not banned from baseball. Right. That's a good point.
Right. And they can still get into the Hall.
They could get in. Yep. But they could.
I just don't. I don't. I think he belongs. I really do.
Yeah,
well, listen, they don't want him in the Hall of Fame, right?
No.
But they got his helmet from his 1973 MVP in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
They got his cleats when he became the all-time hit king. They got those in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Well, so he is certainly not wiped from the Hall of Fame. However, as an inductee, he is. And now, any other scenario, without the gambling, he would have been a one of those. Is it going to be unanimous or not? Type inductees.
Yeah. Listen, whenever I hear Pete Rose, I swear the only image that comes to me in my head is that slide into third base where he's literally in the air.
Yeah.
When he's sliding into third base, he hustled down first base on a walk.
Yep.
On a walk, he used to run. You just don't see that in baseball
no,
today.
And the biggest thing
I got to tell you, Nimmo for the Mets is notorious for that. In fact,
he does.
I would not compare him to Pete Rose. Although I guess I kind of am, but he'll run. He always, he walks like nobody else, and he runs to first base, and sometimes. Yep. And I think it happened with the Braves. Might have been yesterday, where they got caught off guard, and he made his way to second base. So, but nonetheless, you're right. Nobody hustled like P. Rose.
And then let's can we get to a baseball game without seeing commercials about gambling?
No.
DraftKings, all this gambling.
I know.
And I think the big thing is I think that now's the time, and it would have been nice to see him maybe get in, to be able to experience it, to hear his speech in the induction. But I think at this point it would be the classy move in honor of Pete Rose to posthumously induct him. And I think that will happen.
You do think?
I think it's going to happen.
I can't agree more. I can't agree more with that.
Well, maybe it will.
I think you'll see it.
Did he finally confess though? Did he finally say yes? I bet.
He did too. I think he was being interviewed by Jim Gray.
Yeah.
On NBC. Yeah, this was probably over 10 years ago.
And did he confess to betting against his team?
He said he never bet. He said he never bet
against
on the team he played with, the Reds.
Yeah. Okay.
I was watching the news last night. They showed a clip from when he was at Cooperstown this summer in July.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't look good. He
didn't look
really,
good.
Really thin, so I don't know what happened.
Was he in a wheelchair, I thought, or no?
No, he was signing autographs at the table.
All right. But listen, he made a lot of money off just embracing the whole controversy. He did not shy away from it. So it is what it is. But this is what one of our listeners, Mike, says. Baseball might try to label the time that McGuire, Bonds, etc., the steroid years, and perhaps in some way get them into the Hall. I don't know how they can get in because to me, it's the steroids that allowed them to perform the way they performed.
Exactly. Inflated their numbers. Yep. Inflated their numbers, and they got and got more contracts because of it.
Yeah. All right. So, what are you thinking about the? By the way, if I could for just a moment, I am obviously a diehard Mets fan.
Don't hold it against him.
However, let's be honest. This is not like baseball of yesterday, of yesteryear, where the division, the division winners get in, and it's National League, American League, and then the World Series. Now everybody and their brother can get in because of the wild card. Now I have to say, for the Mets, it was a major accomplishment to get into the playoffs. This is through the wild card or whatever. This coming from where they were, they have the best record in baseball since June. Coming from where they were is a major accomplishment. However,
I agree 100%.
However, I don't know. I sat and watched SNY. We were at dinner, and SNY was on the TV, and I'm watching them celebrate with champagne, and they're pouring champagne over their head. I'm like, oh my God, they won the World Series. I missed it all. Wait, come on, folks. This is getting into a wild card playoff berth.
Exactly. Well, look, listen, you guys know I'm a Yankee fan. The Yankees did this. The Yankees did this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They're celebrating. The very next day, they only played one game and they got eliminated by the Red Sox.
Oh, that was a dark day in Yankees history.
Yeah,
one game playoff. Yeah, I don't get the celebrations either.
Well, and I got to tell you, they should be careful. They're playing today at 5:30.
You don't want to be HO.
Yeah, you're hung over. Yeah. All right, just my take on that. Watching it, like, enough is enough.
I'm going to go with the hot team in this series, so I'm going to pick the Mets.
I like that pick. I got to tell you, there is no team hotter in baseball right now than the New York Mets.
All about momentum in the playoffs.
It is. Although I do worry about these Milwaukee Brewers. We'll see what happens.
You guys better worry about Diaz.
And Diaz. As Bill Morehouse said, put him on a bus, wave goodbye, hoping to never see him again. Oh, boy. All right, Sal. Thank you, man. And
thanks, guys.
And Pete Rose, we'll see if he ever gets in. All right. Thank you.
Let's hope. Okay.
All right. There are some baseball people that say he should, right? That he should get in.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I think the majority opinion is that he get in and not be excluded.
So back in the 93, 94, somewhere 92, 93, 94, there was this whole Pete Rose controversy that was caused by a friend of mine who owned the Green Street Cafe in Herkimer, Jack Knoll. And I began to tell the story after I saw that Pete Rose had died. I was telling the story at dinner last night, and then it came upon me. I've completely forgotten the story. I do know I still have the ball, the signed ball, which maybe today we'll find out if that's really been signed by Pete Rose.
You never know.
Maybe it wasn't. Here is Jack Knoll from his estate in Florida. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Good. So, first of all, is the ball signed with green ink, the Pete Rose signed ball that you gave me back in the early 90s, is that authentic?
Yes.
Okay. All right, it is.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Good.
I went to Cooperstown and bought that ball to perpetuate the prank.
So this was a prank on me. Now, how did this thing? Explain. I have forgotten because there've been a few pranks over the years. Explain what went down during this.
Well, I knew you couldn't resist. I called. I gave you a call. I told you that Pete Rose was in the area and he was doing like a public service type thing, part of his rehab stuff from court.
Yeah.
And I told him he was in our area and he was in a locked facility, which was CNYPC for the criminally insane and on the Marcy campus.
Yeah, and I buy it.
I told you he was basically working in housekeeping, and I told you couldn't say anything, and I gave you a whole bunch of information that when you checked it out, added up, and
it all worked. Yeah.
Not to tell anybody, and you promised you wouldn't, but then that helped.
Well, then I turn on the microphone, and all those promises go right out the window. So this became a whole thing. Now didn't you work in the in that field? Weren't you working in?
Well, at the time, I was about 19 or 20, and I was working up there, and I was working for a guy that was named Pete Rose.
Oh,
that's
when
awesome.
When you called the facility anonymously or whatever you did, they put you right through to Pete Rose because there was actually a Pete Rose.
That is so funny.
I thought it was hilarious.
That is exactly.
Oh my gosh!
Totally remember. We were becoming, investigative reporters at the time on K-Rock.
The guy came on the air with you.
Yes.
And he said, listen, I have a job to do. I got things. This guy was overly serious about housekeeping.
Some people take their jobs very seriously.
Yeah. So much so they called him Charlie Hustle with a broom. Yeah. It was amazing. So then finally you reveal the whole thing, and so you went down to authenticate this whole thing. You go down, you get a baseball, which I still have today, signed by Pete Rose, to say, here, I got you the signed autograph. I got you the autograph ball. Yeah.
I drove to Mantle's place in Cooperstown. Remember?
Yes.
Place on the corner?
Yep.
Yeah, I know what it cost me back then. I think it was $150.
Wow. That is wild. Well, that ball today is not. Pete Rose. The value of Pete Rose's stuff went right down the tubes over the years because he signed so much. But that was. Listen, we had during those days, Jack. We had some pretty good pranks, some great crank calls, some that involved people that worked for you. It was pretty wild.
You call them pranks. We abuse people.
Yeah, that's right. there was some abuse.
We had girls crying.
Oh God, I still cannot remember. I still can never forget the moment that I revealed and this crank call. This was the quote crystal crank call when I revealed to her that it was me. Her answer, and a tearful answer, was. And at that point, I kind of felt guilty a little bit, just a little bit, just a teeny weeny little bit. But then, no, not so much. All right, Jack. How did you guys do with the hurricane? I forget where you are.
I'm pretty much dead center. I'm 25, 30 miles south of Orlando, and it seemed to go up the right and left side of us. We really didn't get much of anything.
Wow. I'd call that luck because it certainly isn't God on your side. I can't imagine it.
Yeah, I can't figure it out either.
All right. Well, I'm glad you guys are safe, and we appreciate the update, Jack.
All right, partner. Thanks for the call.
Have a great day. Jack Knoll, during those days, he was Herkimer. There was a lot going on. That Green Street Cafe was an awesome... the loss of the Green Street Cafe is really when everything seemed to go south on Main Street in Herkimer.
Yeah.
It was a quaint, even to that, still there in the 90s, it was a quaint little street. And the Green Street Cafe was an awesome place. But when that went away and some other places went away, it all went downhill. So they're trying to bring it back today.
Yeah, Dana Sherry, the mayor there, is doing what she can, and I know there's other, county officials that are participants in that attempted revitalization. So we had always hope for the best. But I do have to say, one person that's really hurting from the loss of Pete Rose is Lanson Lee, given what his email is.
Oh,
we haven't heard from him. He's probably
what is his
in
email?
mourning.
Well, you don't have to give away his full email, but
it's something Pete Rose.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's I'll say this without revealing too much. Pete Rose and then a series of numbers at gmail.com.
I did not know that. Interesting. So Lance must be has he messaged in today about Pete Rose?
He has not.
Interesting.
Maybe he's the Pete Rose that you pranked, and now so many years ago,
getting back at me,
and that's why he's
yeah,
getting back at
could
you.
be. Speaking of Lance and Lee, we have some comments we'll get to, and some other stuff that I haven't gotten to before we get out of here. So I'll break in Sarah's Flooring Outlet. Sal and Sarah, and his family, his team, everyone who works over there, they just do an amazing, wonderful job at what they do, and there's no store in the area that has a better selection, no one in the area with a better inventory. They have everything you're going to be looking for flooring. If it is flooring, check out what they have to offer. Bigger than any of the big box stores, they have it. And products that you might never have seen before that are just incredible. Go online and sarahsflooringoutlet.com. You can get a $50 off coupon right there. Get 6 months interest-free financing anytime at Sarah's, whether it is Pergo Extreme, or if you're looking for carpeting, maybe you're looking for tile, hardwoods. They have it all. And luxury vinyl, laminate, and tile. As I said, they have it all. And they have this new thing on their website you can check out where you can visualize it. So you go to the website using your cell phone, your smartphone, and there's a whole thing you can do. I believe you have to download the app. Whole thing that you can do where you can point the camera at your room and add the flooring.
Oh, that's
from
cool.
Sarah's to
That's
see what
really
it would
cool.
to see what it would look like. Go to sarahsflooringoutlet.com and check it out. The area's largest inventory in stock. Top name brands: Shaw, Mohawk, Cortec. Unbeatable service, unbeatable prices. It's in Sarah's Flooring Outlet. We're looking for tile. We had hardwoods put in, and I'm going to tell you, they're the craftsmen that installed our hardwood flooring. Just an incredible job. In Sarah's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy, and online, it is in sarahsflooringoutlet.com.
Burst pipes, broken appliance hoses, overflowing toilets. Water damage happens when you least expect it, and even a small problem can cost you thousands, especially if you don't act quickly. But when you call ABC Chem Dry, we'll be there within an hour. All ABC Chem Dry technicians are specially trained to deal with any water emergency, from small pipe leaks to major flooding. We'll clean and extract your carpets, we'll dry out your walls thoroughly, we'll make sure your family is safe from mold, and we won't leave until everything is perfect. Plus, we'll work with your insurance company to make the claim process easy. Remember that you have the right to use the company of your choice for water damage restoration. When you trust ABC Chem Dry, we'll do everything possible to protect your home and save you money. If you need help with a water emergency, call ABC Chem Dry at 738-1111, 738-1111.
Shop with confidence at Mattress Express with our brand name low price guarantee. When you buy a mattress at Mattress Express, if you see it advertised locally within 30 days of purchase, bring it to our attention. We simply refund the difference. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
A dinner event to benefit the Mohawk Valley Ride for Missing Children. Friday, October 4th. 6 p.m. cocktail, 7 p.m. dinner. $65 per person. $500 per table of 8. Harts Hill Inn, 135 Clinton Street, Whitesboro, New York. Keynote speaker, Ahmad Ravisfar Ryder, father of 2 kidnapped daughters. Guest speaker, Oneida County Sheriff Rob Mashel. Business casual attire. Chance auction, basket raffle, 360 photo booth, music and dancing. Visit rfmc-mv.org to purchase tickets or become a sponsor.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
I'm looking at Tony's beautiful Pete Rose signed baseball, and that is one that's gonna be worth some dough, no doubt. Unlike mine, Jack provided me with a really nice one, green ink, and of course on a baseball. It's on a baseball. Tony, that is a really good one. Mike says, poor Dikembe Mutombo, the great basketball player who was quite a philanthropist, gets overshadowed by Pete Rose. He died from brain cancer, and Pete Rose does the overshadowing on that. And Wayne, only team I worry about is the Dodgers to win it all. Well, it's possible.
It is possible. But
Coming up, am I going to the
curse.
top? Am I going to the top? All right. We're working on a Guinness record with Leon Etienne coming up at the end of this month. And we've been working with Guinness. I drink one, then Andrew drinks one, then he drinks one, then I drink one.
I have the NA one, of course.
That's true. Actually, Guinness World Records. And what do we know? You have the latest communication with them.
Yes, so I just got an email back. We've been going back and forth. This is from Kylie at Guinness.
We need to know what their requirements are so that we do it to spec.
I'm working on that.
And we want to do it without having to pay them to come up.
She said, could you tell me more about what dates you are looking for this? Also, does the illusionist already have a record title? No, he was shafted. I'll share this information you've already provided with our team and get back to you soon. Thanks, Kylie.
Okay, you need to reach out to Leon today. He'll specifically lay it all out for you and what he's going to do. And then, so really we're going to strap him upside down.
Yep.
And he is going to be strapped into a Houdini
straitjacket. Yep.
While upside down, he will have to get out of the straitjacket, and he will do it probably more than 60 times in 1 hour.
What is the record?
So he gets out. There is no record. He'll be setting a new record.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is very exciting, but you should reach out to him to
get all the deets.
Figure it out. This is Jack Noel. The steroid boys affected the game directly itself and possibly their fellow teammates. Say one of those didn't hit a home run to win the game, and the next guy that comes in a plate does the same thing to win the big game, wins the World Series. That guy's life might have been changed. The steroid boys changed history and likely stole from teammates, in effect. I completely agree with that. They changed the game of baseball for a time. And I realize we're probably beyond that now, but at that time, they completely changed the game of baseball. Okay, there you go. Anything else you want to add? Tomorrow morning, we're live from Daylight Donuts in New Hartford with Sheriff Rob Mashel.
It'll be a good show. Stop on down, have a coffee with a cop.
Coffee with a cop. That is tomorrow morning, 6 till 9, Daylight Donuts in New Hartford.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Get out. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Israel's telling residents across the border in Lebanon, ordering evacuations.
Overnight, Israeli forces launched ground incursions into southern Lebanon, going after Hezbollah positions along the border. My team and I were actually embedded with an Israeli commando unit as they crossed into Lebanon.
Fox's Trey Yanked is now back in Israel, reporting from Haifa.
There are a number of places along the border the Israelis are looking to put new pressure on the Iran-backed group.
Days after an Israeli strike killed the leader of Hezbollah, which says it is ready for a direct confrontation in Lebanon as the militants fire rockets into Israel. It's another day of misery for Hurricane Helene victims from Florida to the Carolinas. Fox Weather's Robert Ray reports from Asheville.
There are so many communities in peril right now that have not been able to get communication because of the lack of cell phone service and power outages. It's not just Asheville that has been decimated and people going through these issues. Hundreds unaccounted for because they cannot communicate.
The storm is blamed for at least 128 deaths. There are still more than 1 million power outages. Ships are sitting idle at ports from Maine to Texas. Big containers unopened. After about 50,000 dock workers went on strike after midnight in a contract dispute.
The ports shutting down are responsible for about half of all U.S. imports and billions of dollars in trade per month. A J.P. Morgan analysis predicts the strike could cost the economy more than $5 billion per day.
Fox's Brooke Singman. The economy could be a big issue tonight in the CBS News vice presidential debate. J.D. Vance versus Tim Walz. Perhaps the last debate before the election in 5 weeks. They're celebrating in Plains, Georgia, where Jimmy Carter at home and hospice hits the century mark.
Happy 100th birthday. You've always been a moral force for our nation and the world.
Our oldest president, Joe Biden, and a new message to our oldest ex-president ever. America's listening to Fox News.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you